sky. I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky. I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky. I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky. I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky. I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky. I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
Watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for Unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee. I don't drink.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on this.
Hey, you're watching Poindexter.
That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter Lounge.
That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter. Thanks for the light, Jay.
Rose and Call of Duty. I smell like onions and you're watching Poindexter.
That's great. I don't.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen, or who might show up in the lounge.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
That's great. I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut. To go.
I'm muted. I know. I just saw RJ. Hey, I was saying welcome to the Poindexter Lounge, the mobile lounge, of course, as we celebrate all things nerd and all things pop culture. So if you're into things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, or anything else like that, then you have found the right place. So welcome, and it's good to see you all here. What? You wish. Oh, I do, huh? Okay. Hi, and of course with me today I have, I'm waiting for everybody to get here. Apparently I did not send out the link properly. So, what's up, RJ?
Hey, hello. My audio is going to sound horrible because I'm very congested, but hi.
Congested? What are you all congested with?
Sickness. Everyone in the house got sick over the weekend, so I'm like, yeah, I've been sick since like Saturday. It's been tough.
Well, that sucks. Well, I hope you start feeling better, RJ. I had a great weekend. Can I just tell you, I had a wonderful weekend, man. I got a lot of stuff done this weekend. We had a blessing of the bikes at the church, and so we had a bunch of people out there with motorcycles, and we had a company come out, man, and make barbecue. It was awesome, dude. We had ribs, and we had jalapeno cheddar sausage, and pulled pork, and oh my gosh, it was just so good. Hamburgers and hot dogs. It was really good stuff. So we did all that, and then I just had a really good day on Saturday too, man. I went and visited a friend who had lost her husband earlier this year, and it was just really nice to just sit with her. She was a lady that I used to work with, and sat with her and talked with her, and so it's just very very meaningful weekend, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's good. Nothing. I mean, well, I guess one thing happened this weekend. It's not that big a deal, is it?
What happened?
I was making a joke because I guess I made some news headlines over the weekend.
You did. I did. You know what, RJ? I did not realize this entire time that you were James Gunn.
I know. I didn't know either.
I did not realize that. So, hey, I want to thank. I sent you a link, Austin. I thought I did. Okay, hold on a second, RJ. I will be right back. Can you just take this for me for just a second? I will be right back because apparently I did not give Austin a thing. Okay, hold on. Oh wait, hold on a second. Is that him? That's him right there. What do you mean I didn't send you a link?
I don't know. Okay, so it must have been something with my phone. I guess I just turned my phone on airplane mode and put it back on, and all of a sudden everything came through, and I was like, oh, cool.
Then you were there. Nice. Well, there you go. So now
blame my internet.
Also, I have to correct you, Enosh. I am not James Gunn. I'm a James Gunn plant.
No, you're James Gunn. Shush.
You're James Gunn. I saw the person say you were James Gunn.
Well,
just as sure. Listen, RJ, just as sure as I am a failure who has lost my entire family, who will never, ever, ever rise from the ashes to be as good as whatever this thing is in the chat. I am just so sad and lonely and hurting. And as much as I am that, you are James Gunn.
Well, there you go. I guess that's it then.
You know what? I would rather be all those things. I would rather be the world's greatest failure than to be some douche nozzle who spends every day just waiting for Enosh V to tweet, post something on Facebook, or do a live stream so that I can jump in because I've got no effing life. You, sir, I'm sorry. This person has no idea.
Don't forget, Enosh, you're the homewrecker,
too. Please keep doing it. Please keep doing it. I appreciate what you're doing right now. You have no idea, Tom. Thank you. Please keep doing it. Nobody effing cares about you. You are a punk. You are somebody who has no relevance to anything. You know nothing of my life. You know nothing of my family. You know nothing of my kids. You know nothing of my church. You are literally somebody who watches me. I don't watch you. I don't care about you. You watch me. You know what? Let's do this. How about we do this little thing to start out? You're watching me, idiot. You're following me. I don't follow you. And for those of you wondering, the reason why I'm taking a minute out to say this to a freaking troll is because this person thinks they're smart, and they have no idea how really ignorant they are, not because of what they don't know about my life, but just because of what they don't know. So please keep harassing me. It doesn't bother me. And I would just tell you, you're irrelevant. You are. I have not said anything to this person in a while, and I think it's hilarious that they are literally waiting. They're waiting. They're hoping and praying and wishing that Enosh would say something or post something so that they can have something to say. And we all see how pathetic you are. You're so much better than me. RJ, Austin, have you ever had somebody so worried about what you do that they have to on all mediums that are better than you? Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Nope.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? If you have to tell everybody that you're better than somebody else, you're not. Oh, and if you can't show your face and you can't show your real name and you gotta hide behind several accounts and hide behind things and call me Penny, which is the dumbest thing ever, but okay. Like, you'd think that matters to me, but it's not. But okay.
Well, the other thing is, too, they have to make the effort of making a new Google account every day, 3 times a day. Like,
how do you think you're winning
get
doing
phone numbers and everything to do that, too? Just like, how?
I just don't understand how somebody thinks that they are somehow superior when they're the ones who are infatuated with me. But thank you. I love you.
Yeah, exactly. You're the homewrecker. You're the immature one. You're all this, but he's the one playing high school games, creating an account every 5 minutes, just to give you a hard time for an hour of your day. Like,
yeah. Yeah, well, and then to go after my friends and people at my church now. So this is why, folks, is because this person is not just here on Poindexter Lounge. No, this person has decided to go ahead and follow me on other social medias. And now they're starting to harass people in my life. They're literally harassing Shayna now, literally going after Shayna, saying things about Shayna. They've gone after Austin. Come to my church. Like, I don't know about you guys, but you're a special piece of garbage to go after innocent people and say negative things about people because you're a punk. Like, this person has said, oh, I've got kids and I got a family and my family's better than you and I got a better woman and blah, blah, blah. Good for you. I hope that lasts for you because you don't talk like you have much experience in life. And you know what? Life throws some pretty weird curveballs at you sometimes and you got to deal with that. So it doesn't sound like you've had to deal with much yet. It doesn't sound like you got much more life experience. So you know what? We're not going to hire you at this point. We're not going to bring you in at this point. But you know what? Maybe go back out, get some life experience. Right? Actually, you know, I hope to God that with that kind of attitude and with this kind of mentality of like trolling people and trying to go after people like this, I really hope that you're just a lying idiot that doesn't have kids. Because it would be very, very sad to know that you're a parent setting that kind of example. That is not winning. That's not even being a decent human being. You're just a losing douchebag at that point. If you're setting that kind of example for your family, and what does your supposed woman, he just calls it his woman, your woman think of your grand trolling? I'm sure she is so impressed. I'm sure it gets her so hot and bothered every day you come home and go, honey, you know what I did today? Ooh, I waited till Enosh made a Facebook post, and then I posted something underneath it, as the man who stole his wife. Ooh, I'm sure she's just overflowing and gushing with love and repose for you and for all that you mean to her and all that you mean to your family and all that you are doing, supporting them by being obsessed with Enosh. You know what? I kind of hope you are married with kids and that they figure out that you're doing this BS so that you can really get it handed to you. But regardless, we're good. So, sorry, I
Well then.
Yeah, I have just.
Oh. I guess I'm taking the lead.
I love how the person who is like the most drama is the one that sits in the back during that whole thing. Like, why? Why? The drama
I didn't know you were back there.
Well, I'm sorry. I came in mid-rant and I typed, "Hey, I'm here," and I'm like, "Why is there drama?" And I'm sitting in the backstage right now.
I don't know. That's why I brought you in. That's why I brought you in, because I saw that you were there. But you know, how you doing, Saggy?
I mean, I was good until I missed the whole. Well, I mean, I was in the backstage listening, but hi everybody. It's been a while. This is like a good family reunion. Hello, family.
What's up, Paul? How's everyone doing?
And by the way, I have to
What's up,
call
everyone?
RJ. RJ, how dare you try to piggyback off of Bradley's epic comment where Bradley literally just roasted that clown and you had to like say it on stream like you said it first because you were reading the chat. I saw you.
What are you talking about?
Well, he is James Gunn. He is James Gunn, so he doesn't have an original idea, right?
Bradley made the comment in the chat and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, so I'm like, yo, you can't take Bradley's comment. I read that and I was like, yo, based Bradley. Then here comes RJ repeating that comment. How dare you? Don't you take that shine away from Bradley's beautiful comment.
I honestly was not looking at the chat.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
because
RJ, okay, so you know what? RJ was starting to talk, and then I went on my rant because
okay.
I was hoping they would. I was hoping they would. But RJ, so you tweeted this week. Just for anybody who doesn't know, just bring everybody up to speed on what you did.
I didn't really do anything. That's the funny thing about it. No. I think James Gunn made a post on Threads. Somebody said something about, we were lied to. That's what it was, right. So he had to come out and clarify, because Nathan Fillion did like an interview where he said, I found out I was going to play Guy Gardner during the premiere of the Suicide Squad. And then James Gunn had to be like, well, he misspoke. I actually told him during the Guardians 3 premiere. And then, he clarified that, and somebody replied, I don't believe you, like something, we were all lied to. And then this person was like, what are you talking about? And then James Gunn said, I have the same question. What are you talking about? And then I basically just replied and said, I'm going to infer this person's referring to a popular conspiracy theory. I'm not going to read the whole thing I said, but I basically was like, the whole conspiracy theory that he knew he was going to reboot DC when he first got hired. This was always the plan. The plan was always to reboot DC. The plan was always to screw over Cavill and lie to the fans. And he's all like, basically he said, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, nope, it doesn't make any sense. That's all I said.
Makes complete sense, right? That they would that somebody would want to destroy DC, so they would hire him to be the CEO.
Well, and that's the funny thing too. It's like people like forget their history. Do people not remember in 2022 when there was like this whole proxy battle for DC with like $7 Productions and The Rock trying to vie for control with Black Adam, and you had Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi trying to do their own thing too? Like, people just forget that. Like, and this is basic like information that you could find that's out there. It's not like it's like hidden information.
RJ, it's like you're expecting people to have common sense to like actually research and pay attention to what's going on before they speak. Oh, you give
Other funny thing, funny too though, is they said, Nathan Fillion, he didn't misspeak. You can't confuse the Suicide Squad with Guardians of the Galaxy. They don't even sound remotely the same.
Oh, RJ,
titles are not even remotely.
RJ, stop giving these people credit to understand that not everybody who's in the industry actually pays attention to all the stuff that goes on in the industry because they are working. Oh.
I'm just saying, it was just really, really funny. And like I said, I wasn't expecting like that interaction to like get like articles written about it. I think it was probably just a very slow news day because it's basic common sense. It's not like it's like some shocking revelation that you can like.
Listen, RJ, I understand where these people are coming from because I get super jealous too whenever you get a lot of attention from anybody. So I mean, it's I get it. Like I would be mad too if you were getting all this attention and I wasn't.
I didn't do anything though. Like I'm just like basic. I'm just using social media like a normal person would, just reply to something. And then it blows
But you're a
up.
plant.
You know, because you're a plant, exactly, and that's and that's the point. It's like it's funny to me that like we're at a point with fandoms where like it's grossly obvious that a lot of people just have no idea how the industry works. They don't know how business works, right? Like no company is going to hire a CEO. It goes back to the same thing that I've been saying for years about Kathleen Kennedy. Everybody is like, oh my God, Kathleen Kennedy, she hates Star Wars. She hates George Lucas. She is in there only to ruin Luke Skywalker and ruin everything that I like because she hates it and wants to ruin George Lucas's vision and George Lucas's baby, and she hates it. She wants to put it into the ground. It's like, no, she doesn't. Like, she may make some mistakes. She may screw some stuff up along the way. But this idea that we got these revenge hires, right, where like we're just hiring all these CEOs that want nothing more than to tear down the very fabric of the IP that they're hired to lead.
Well, you have to remember too. This all ties into the conspiracy theory as well, that James Gunn has been like Toby Emmerich wanted James Gunn to do Superman all along. It's all deployed to reboot DC from the beginning because they want to devalue the DC brand so that James Gunn can do a crossover with Kevin Feige. So Disney will always be the top dog.
So,
yeah, well, you know what I say to that? The world is flat. The Earth is flat then, and Tom, what's his name, is probably dating Tim.
Well,
I don't know.
Here's a logic, right? Here's a logic that people don't understand, right? These people, James Gunn, Kathleen Kennedy, they have a reputation to uphold primarily. So how would they get work after they ruin an entire studio? That makes no sense. These people are trying to make money like everybody else. So it makes no logical sense that people would come up with these stupid conspiracy theories. Like, dude, if James Gunn ran DC under the ground purposely, his reputation would be forever damaged. He would never get work in the industry again. So why would he do that?
Plus, can we talk about the fact that if you were actually able to prove that, if you were actually able to prove that these people are trying to ruin, they would go to jail.
Well, no. But that's the thing, though. It's just part of the simulation. The system wants to drag DC down as a brand because they don't want Zack Snyder. Because Zack Snyder's trying to liberate people from the mind virus. He's trying to wake people up to see what's really going on. He's trying to.
That's just great.
Well, do you know what's crazy? You know what really blows my mind? That all of this energy fighting over this stuff. Hello, is nobody paying attention to the fact that the industry is getting literally called out by multiple different people about all the disgusting, demonic things happening in Hollywood? But no, let's focus on the fact that James Gunn is trying to ruin entertainment at DC Studios for all the fans. That should be the focus, right?
Well, because they got to focus on James Gunn because they want to include James Gunn in that discussion about Hollywood, right? And look, I've always maintained and said, if someone has an aversion to James Gunn because of his tweets before, I will never argue with you about that. I will give you that all day long. I think those tweets were disgusting. I think that the humor behind them is gross. But one, that doesn't mean that he is that in real life. And also, with the people that he was around, he literally was part of Trauma, which was all about dark humor, disgusting stuff, and gross stuff that people don't talk about in polite company. So, like you gotta understand where stuff comes from, but nobody wants to do that research. Nobody wants to find out about what that stuff actually is, and you just want to throw everybody in because you didn't like it. Now, again, if you tell me, I'm just saying, if you tell me, Enosh, I don't want to support James Gunn because I disagree and I hate what he did, what we know he did, that's fine. But when people start switching it on me and start saying, well, he did all this stuff, but they show that they're really mad because they have this conspiracy theory that James Gunn hates Zack Snyder and that he's systematically tried to boot Zack and Henry Cavill and everybody and get them all out so that he could just see his vision made. Like,
Enosh, I got you. I want to up all of you right now. If you can prove to me that James Gunn was at one of P. Diddy's parties, I will disavow James Gunn right now. I will say, yep, you guys were right. Prove to me if James Gunn was ever at one of Puff Daddy's parties, I will say y'all are right. Throw him in jail. Walk away.
Do it, right? That's me too. Look, if somebody did something, if somebody's guilty of something, and we know that, and we can prove that, or you know what? If there's enough evidence to arrest that person and then let that person have their day in court, great. That's what should be done. If not, it's all speculation. It's all a bunch of running around just like bad-mouthing people and trying to just hate on stuff that because it's not the thing that we like. And that's the problem that I have with it at this point. It's like what you like, don't like what you don't like. I don't care. Boycott whatever you want to boycott. Hey, spend your life in a black and white Superman onesie, you know, running around outside of buildings that aren't Stone Quarry with signs that, you know, say stuff. Do whatever you want to do. I don't care. Support whoever you want to support. Believe whatever nonsense you want to believe. I don't care. But when you try to act like that's real life, don't expect Enosh to get on that trolley with you. Just saying. You know, like it's dumb at this point. It's anyways.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, you know, what we've talked about before in that, like, it's, you know, Snyder fans now are just doing the same thing that was done then. It's becoming a witch hunt where we're just looking for every reason and every little thing that we can find to make a big deal about and to, you know, come up with some wild reason as to this or that.
They're looking for revenge. They want revenge. And I'm sorry, but revenge is not a good way to go.
Nope. And that's the mentality that these people have who live chronically online every fucking single day of their lives and do nothing with their lives and sit there and act like keyboard warriors and obsess over James Gunn, obsess over Zack Snyder, obsess over fucking superhero shit. For the love of God, shut up about superheroes.
Obsess over Enosh.
They obsess over you. They obsess over everything. These are just like literal minuscule of a human existence.
But they'll go online, Bradley, and be like, but I'm the bestest ever. I have a great life. I do all these things. I don't know how I don't know how anybody would have time to actually have a great job and a family and do all that stuff and do half of the stuff these people do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, but whatever floats your boat, I guess. Whatever floats it, right, Paul? Paul floats. Yeah. Anyway, so.
Also, real quick shout out to Bob. Also, yeah, you can ask him to sign your, ask Zach to sign your poster saying "sell it," then pretend like he did it all on his own.
Oh, hey! Shout out to all of our fans in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Love all of you. So I just wanted to talk about some stuff because I actually have things to do tonight. So, but we got on this rant, and I know that's me. But let's talk about some topics. Let's talk about a couple things because I'm pretty excited. This news came out, and I am pretty excited about this. And of course, that is that Jeff Bridges is coming back to Tron.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was excited about Jared Leto, but I've seen the pushback on Jared Leto because people either really like Jared Leto or they just really don't like Jared Leto. And Jared Leto has been part of some things that are really great. And Jared Leto, let's be honest, has been part of some things that are really bad. And then Jared Leto has been part of some things like Suicide Squad, where we never really saw what he was doing there. You know, I mean, like we've heard from David Ayer that, we haven't even scratched the surface of what he did in that movie. So who knows? But so I was kind of excited with Jared Leto being in the movie, but at the same time, we hadn't, heard anything about any returning cast members at all. That was concerning. But Flynn lives. Oh, what do you guys think?
Oh yeah, no, I'm stoked. I mean, that's a big one for me. I'll be honest, I was really hoping and was thinking like that they were just holding it. So I'm happy they announced it, but in my head I was thinking it's that he's involved, that Garrett Hedlund is involved, and that it's hopefully just they're keeping it secret and all that, because you can't just do it without Jeff Bridges. And I think it would be pretty hard to do it without his son now too. Even if it's just a cameo or some sort of appearance. So it does make me happy that they're going to be connecting it and all of that. I still have I'm still cautiously optimistic. There are still a lot of things I just don't know about, and so, but that is definitely a plus. Like that got me really excited to see Jeff Bridges coming back. And it was funny to hear him like criticize the 2010 CGI or whatever too.
Yes, yeah, because that's the story. What did he say? He looked like
He's like I look like Bill Maher.
He does. He does. I never noticed that before until I read that earlier today, and I was like, oh crap, he does.
It was
like
so
Bill
funny.
Maher.
I read that as I was watching Bill Maher's Club Random podcast, and I just looked up and looked at the picture, and I was like, oh my god.
That's funny. Yeah, when it comes to Tron, it will be interesting, right, to see if because obviously this has to do with Jared Leto's character coming out of the out of the computer world, right, off the grid. And when we last saw this world, Sam, Flynn's son, had come out of the grid with Cora.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of sitting back here going like, they got to reference that, but like the article that I read said that they haven't done anything. There hasn't been any announcement as far as
there hasn't been any announcements. There was very early on in filming, I think like in the first few weeks, there were rumors and I think a few pictures of Garrett Hedlund being spotted near the set and that type of thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like I could see that being referenced in the beginning, kind of as a setup of like, they're out there, they know, and then we switch over to Jared's story or whatever, and he comes into the real world and all that type of thing. But
maybe because he finds out about Cora.
Yeah, exactly, or something like that. So I think they're just keeping it hidden. I mean, look, interestingly enough, that second film, Legacy, became a cult classic, just like the first one. It's hugely popular now. It's one of those movies that like people go and watch and like I would go see a sequel to all these years later, and so they just have to be real careful, I think, with this. It's one of those franchises where you may not make all your money back right away, but it seems to develop a following and a love afterwards. But you still, like I said, you still got to be careful with this because I think you got to appease to. In my opinion, you've got a high bar to live up to. That sequel, Legacy, in my opinion, was better than the first one, and it was just great.
I have a feeling that they're going to try and there's going to be references to Tron Legacy. I just get the feeling that they're going to try and not make it necessarily a direct sequel to it, in a way, if that makes sense. Where it's like, yeah, it's kind of a sequel to it, but we want to do our own thing, so it's not like... I don't know. I just get the feeling that they're going to try and distance themselves from Tron Legacy, because I don't think they're going to bring back that cast in a big way. Hope I'm wrong, but I am excited that Jeff Bridges is coming back at least, so you have that connective tissue no matter what. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope it's good, and I hope that like I said, they've got a high bar. That score, those visuals, the the story was emotional, and like they've really got a
this right here.
I just hope it's good, but yeah.
This right
Tron
here
better be in it.
See, okay, this is my point. Can we make Tron a main character in the movie? I mean, we've had two movies now named after Tron, and so far, only one movie with Tron in it, and another movie with a character named Rinsler, who we figure out at the end is Tron, but we never see. Can we just have some Tron?
Yeah,
I'm with you, Crazy Joe. I want some Tron, man. I would like.
Well, and another thing too is like they set up Cillian Murphy's character in Legacy, and that's another thing I would have taken. I mean, the dude just won an Oscar. I would have, been after that, to get him in the movie as well as a main cast member. So.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're making this movie. To be honest with you, I'm excited. I'm excited that it's actually happening. That because there's been all these, it might happen, it might not, might happen, might not. So the fact that it's actually happening excites me, and I'm always down for a return to the grid, man. I'm always down for a return to the grid. So.
I still have yet to do my Tron homework. My Tron homework. So I need to get on that, but I am intrigued, and I do want to get on that.
Have you not seen Tron?
No, I haven't seen the original, and I haven't seen Legacy. I haven't seen anything about Tron. I've seen probably like the first 15
When we
minutes
first started dating, I tried to show him Tron Legacy, and he wasn't interested.
Yeah, I've never gotten into Tron before. So I'm definitely going to get on that before the new movie comes out, because I do want to see it.
Well, I love you, Bradley, but I mean, just on principle, I have to give you this.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Get wrecked.
It's okay.
Wait, when?
Nah, I'm just messing. No, hey, you know what? The thing is actually Shayna, I think she's seen Tron Legacy, but I don't think she saw the first one. So when we first started dating, we started talking about Tron, and I tried to show her Tron Legacy, and we actually fell asleep on the couch watching Tron Legacy, or Tron, the original Tron.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but hey, man, Jeff Bridges coming back. Tron or Flynn lives. Flynn lives.
Flynn lives.
When does this movie come out, by the way?
Next year, I believe. Yeah.
Next year, okay.
Now I'll tell you what my next big interest is. Who are you gonna get to score this? Because a part of me is like, I really hope Disney pull out as much money as you freaking need to get Daft Punk out of retirement to do this sequel. I don't care if that alone is the $1 billion that you have to spend. Spend it, damn it.
Somebody's like, why did Tron Legacy cost like $1.25 billion to make?
Punk.
That doesn't
All
make.
you got to say is Daft Punk, and every person will go, you know what? Good investment. All right.
Good show. Good show. I think I will go see it twice now.
Exactly.
M83 would probably be a good substitute if they.
I would allow M83. I would allow them. I say that as if I'm in charge of the music department for this. So I would allow M83.
I'll allow for it. Yes, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Yeah. So I mean, so that's good stuff. I'm looking forward to that for sure. You know what? Speaking of UHF, did you hear that? This is totally unrelated, but did you hear that UHF is getting a 4K release?
Ooh.
That'll be amazing. Yes.
It's getting a 4K and Blu-ray release with a bunch of extras, I guess, coming next year. So, yeah, so be looking for that. Great movie. All right, moving right along because I got to pick up Landon. What is our next topic of discussion, my friend?
The Rock, the takeover, the yeah, that whole thing. So, well, The Rock, the big expose basically came out on The Rock. That referred to a bunch of things from his production with that movie with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, which I forgot the name of right now. But apparently there were issues. Yeah, there were issues on that film. He got into it with Ryan apparently because he was so late to set and all this type of stuff. He was incredibly late to set on his most recent film with Chris Evans, a Christmas movie called Red One. Something's been going on obviously internally with The Rock where he's been the Vin Diesel these last couple movies, and then it comes to the DC stuff and we find out that he had been positioning his producer Hiram to basically take over the DC. They were meeting trying to get him to be the one in charge of the new DCU and all that type of stuff, and that didn't blow over well. So he's just a bit of a mess right now. I mean, it's understandable why he's gone to the WWE for the past year. Probably because Hollywood hasn't been too pleased with him.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird though that like he's like holding all this stuff up, and like the article said that like he wasn't showing up, for 7-8 hours, into filming if he showed up at all, on a day. So I've said this, and I still just maintain this. It's just how I feel about The Rock. The Rock comes across to me as just somebody whose ego is so big and huge that he just doesn't really care. I mean, it's one thing to be late, but I mean, first of all, you're The Rock, okay? I mean, so that's that. But to be 7-8 hours late to filming a movie.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And again, like these are the issues that apparently got him into it with Vin Diesel over the Fast and Furious franchise. That he felt Vin Diesel was always late and had too much control and power to his head and all that. So either the tides have turned in a really weird way, or I don't know. What's interesting about this too is this article is saying too. A lot of people are coming out and saying, I have worked with him and he is very professional and he is this and that. So I don't know. That's why it makes me think maybe it's something internally. I think, I don't know. I think he recently even said in an interview where he got to a place with his movies where, I mean, he was doing stuff like San Andreas and Skyscraper and all, a lot of just big stuff with no substance. And, he relied on that for a long time. And I think that took a toll on him, like, personally too, like on how he looked at his career and some other things. And so I think maybe all of that was maybe affecting him at the time too. I don't know what in the hell was going on, but I just think it's really weird that like I said, how the tides have turned, how he's complained about this in the past and now he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's weird. And like Cherie says here, like we may not have all the whole picture. There may have been things that was going on. We don't know.
I don't know. Like, to me, this reeks of like a hit piece article. I really feel like it's like trying to really vilify The Rock. And I'm not saying he's an angel, but to me, it sounds more like he's a workaholic versus like a bad person who's like purposely trying to like disrupt productions. It sounds like he's just a workaholic who needs to like slow the hell down, like he's doing too much, one person.
But you can't use that as an excuse.
I'm not trying to say it's an excuse. I'm saying like obviously show up on time, manage your schedule better, but this sounds more like got a workaholic issue where he's working too much and doing too much. I don't know.
There's a lot to be said for that too. There's a lot to be said for that too, because it does. You can work yourself to a point where it makes it hard to go from one thing to the next. He's joining TKO on the board over at WWE. He's trying to do WrestleMania. He's main event 2 nights of WrestleMania or whatever. He's like doing all these movies. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But if it's to the extent where you're costing millions of dollars on productions like that, and you're kind of saying screw you to the crew there that's like just sitting around like with their thumbs up their asses,
weirdly
I say
enough,
it's pretty disrespectful. And if this is like one time, sure, one time's okay, because who hasn't been late to work, not 8 hours late to work
at the same time, like at least the crew, everybody's still getting paid, so it's not like they're sitting there not getting paid.
Well, it's still disrespectful.
It's disrespectful to their time, 100%, and all that. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I did read one comment where somebody was like, "Yeah, I worked on a Dwayne Johnson movie, and he was late so much to set that it ended up fulfilling my hours required for SAG-AFTRA health insurance." So in a way, this guy is getting people's health insurance. Let's totally
change it. Well, we'll totally change the whole idea behind this. Right? The Rock helping people get health insurance by being late.
It's a ploy
and pissing in bottles.
Did you like my thumbnail with The Rock coming up behind what's his name? He's like, "You're late." Yeah, we don't know everything behind the story, obviously, and we don't know what's actually going on. But it is.
Well, because
it's a thing of being professional, right?
Yeah, I was going to mention too, though. If you remember, the whole reason he got into beef with Vin Diesel on the Fast and Furious movies is because Vin Diesel was super unprofessional and always showing up late to set.
Right. That's
why I think it's so confusing to me, because it's like, okay, if like he has a big thing about not wasting time on set, and he has a big thing about professionalism on set, it doesn't really sound like something he would do, because he's such a big stickler on like making sure that everything's on time for these scheduled productions. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know. What is our next? It's The Rock. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just The Rock. But I did like Jason's comment here, and this is, I think, a great way to finish off that sentence. I would fire The Rock from the set and replace him with an actual rock. You get the same treatment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't argue with that, Jason. That's the thing. Is like I cannot argue with that statement at all. So, but okay, let's move right along, because I gotta get going here in a second. So, what's next?
Other than that, last couple of days, let's see, live action Scooby-Doo in the works at Netflix from the CW head guy Greg Berlanti. So that's real hopeful.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It seems like Warner Brothers TV is going to make you do it more with Netflix. It seems like they're like Warner Brothers is like really interested, at least with the TV stuff, like really licensing. So
I don't know. I mean, they keep making new Scooby-Doo stuff, and look, people love Scooby-Doo. Don't get me wrong, but
what? Well, they've done. They haven't done a live action thing in a long time now. Like with a big budget scale like this. The last time was the
Gunn movies.
The movies, right?
Yeah.
They've mostly
made by James Gunn.
Yeah, written by James Gunn. Yeah. And they've done mostly direct-to-video movies, and they have the Velma cartoon, which somehow got a second season because everyone hate-watched it. So to me, it's like, here's the thing, right? When people see Greg Berlanti, they freak out and be like, oh my god, it's going to be CW Scooby-Doo. It's going to be Riverdale.
Right.
Possibly. I'm not going to deny that. But if it's more like Sabrina, if it's more like Dead Boy Detectives, that kind of Greg Berlanti, I think it'll be good. Because
I'm sorry, that's not this is my issue with Scooby-Doo. Okay, if you're gonna do something with Scooby-Doo, either make the freaking cartoon. Don't make Velma. Don't make this dark bullshit that Scooby-Doo never was. Don't make any of this, or do what Scooby-Doo was meant to be like in the first place, but they changed it for kids, which is a stoner comedy with Shaggy getting high, Scooby doing all this type of stuff. Like, honestly, I would love to see Gunn do an R-rated third live-action Scooby-Doo movie with all of them just leaning into all of those cartoonish, ridiculous stuff from the animated stuff, but it's for adults. It's Shaggy smoking weed, Scooby's.
Yeah, but that's kind of what Velma was supposed to be, and that failed spectacular. Like, I get the idea. I don't know.
That's not why it failed.
Yeah,
no, I
Velma
know.
failed
I
because
know.
Literally
That's not why Velma failed.
every single character in the Scooby-Doo lore to be some weird woke diversity piece of crap. Oh God!
Listen, I
get me started.
You know what's funny? I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here being quiet as I'm listening to the gay man go off about how something is a woke piece of crap. I'm enjoying my time here right now. Thank you. This is worth the price of admission right here. I'm good. Thank you. Go on. Do what you got to do.
I'm going to say though, there's a template for what you could do with this, and it was a 2-season animated series called Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. It was a cartoon that kept the silly and the comedy, but it also had mysteries where each episode, the mystery tied into an overarching season mystery. So each episode was a case of the week, but there was a season-long mystery that tied into like the lore of like the town that they lived in, and like it tied to like some like it had its serious moments, but it also had comedy as well. I feel like that show really blended comedy and serious like supernatural stuff really well. So honestly, like that's the kind of thing I think the show could do. Keep the comedy. Don't go away from the comedy and like just the way Scooby-Doo is as a property. You got to keep it. But you can do like case of the week stuff, and you can do stuff to where it's like you can do some more serious stuff with it and make it a true mystery show. I feel like that could really work, especially for Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you guys knew this, right?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys knew that I was in it's Jordan's Scooby-Doo movie, his animated film. So that was fun. I had a blast doing that, man. I did a that. Yeah, that was good. That was a lot of fun.
Hey, if you ever need a Shaggy, Jordan, I can do it.
The backstage rage, baby. The backstage rage. And I want to say hi to Hunter. What's up, Hunter? Okay,
Crazy Joe. The first season of Velma might have been a hit because people watched the hell out of it. But how about that second season, though? Didn't even get on the top 10 because no one gives a crap about it.
Yeah,
how about that?
Even the hate watchers season 1 said we're not.
Can I say something really quick that I thought was really funny about Velma season 2? It's spoilers though. Does anyone care?
No.
Okay, so
I hope that show burns.
Spoiler alert for Velma season 2. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw this. So they made the villain of season 2 Scrappy-Doo, who's a murderer, who's like a vicious animal, and the season apparently ends with Scrappy-Doo crashing like a wedding or something, or some kind of reception, and like Velma fights Scrappy-Doo and kills Scrappy-Doo, but dies and turns into a ghost.
What?
That's how the season ends. With, like,
at this point, my blood pressure is going up, and I'd prefer.
Yeah, the season ends with Scrappy-Doo and Velma killing each other, and then Velma turns into a ghost, and it turns out.
And hopefully, it also ends with Mindy Kaling losing her job. Because
so I'm just saying, if they cancel Velma, it's going to end on a cliffhanger of Velma being dead. And
you know what I was shocked to find out? You know what I was absolutely shocked to find out, and I would actually like to do some more research on this. And that is, I was shocked to find out that what's her name, Mindy.
Yeah.
I was shocked to find out that she was so influential on The Office.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because as good as The Office is, and The Office is amazing, like she was a writer on there. She was
her and BJ were incredibly influential. And they were directors. Right. They were in the writers' rooms. They were
right. And so what I don't understand about that is how that can be so good, and yet everything else that Mindy has done, I have not enjoyed at all. It's just absolute crap. It's just garbage. It's stuff that I just don't enjoy, and it's like I try. I really do, because every time now it's like I think, oh, well, she did The Office. Maybe she's got something good in her. And then it's like I go and watch something, and I'm just like, this isn't working for me, This is not.
Yeah.
All right. So I think, well, Nerd Coast and Nostra's here now, but that's, do we have anything else?
There is.
I have one last topic, actually.
There is one more thing that I had as well, too. Yeah, it was the, I don't know if you guys saw, the Russo brothers came out today, talking basically about IP, how we're in this cycle of recycling IP to a point of potential abuse. They even used that and that they would like to create their own Star Wars. If they're gonna do something next, they want to create their own big IP and do something original and blah.
Well, they
blah,
were weren't they also talking about superhero movie fatigue, and that it doesn't exist, is that generations don't, like, they're watching like 30-second movies, that's gonna be the future or something. I had to go back and look at the quote. It was weird.
Well, I will just say, I mean, I'm glad that they want to make something like Star Wars and have a big IP that's their own, because like nobody else wants to do that in the industry.
Right.
And that's the most easiest thing to do ever. And so, like, I don't know why more people aren't jumping on that, just creating like huge mega IPs that last for 50 years or more. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know why more people aren't doing that.
Well, I like how they say this while they continuously get their Marvel paychecks for Endgame and Infinity War and Winter Soldiers. So keep talking that shit about IPs, and keep talking that shit about your mediocre superhero film that you made, and take those checks, little boys, and zip your mouth, please. I don't care. Sorry, I don't care about the Russos. They're mediocre as shit. They're little yes men puppet directors. Keep them out of Hollywood, please.
I don't care about.
The problem is, it's like somebody, and I hate to harp on this, but somebody messaged me the other day, right? And obviously I've been a Snyder fan. I'm still a Snyder fan, right? Like I'm no less of a Snyder fan than I was last year or the year before or the year before that. I'm still just as excited about the stuff that I was excited about. And then Rebel Moon came out, and then Part 1, I didn't really enjoy. I'm waiting for the director's cut. I want to see that. I want to give that a chance, and I feel like I might enjoy that more. But it's really funny because I get a lot of people messaging me, asking my opinion about it, asking me, like why I don't like this, why I don't like that. And then somebody said to me the other day, and I get it because obviously I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Isn't it cool that like they had lightsabers and and all this stuff? And I thought to myself, like, this is not. I get it if you see something like that and it looks cool, and yeah, the lightsabers or whatever they're called in Rebel Moon, they look pretty cool, right?
The laser swords.
They got like fire coming behind them and stuff, and it's like a flame and stuff. It looks cool, but I kind of like end up saying to myself, like, did we really need that? I mean,
right.
We already have lightsabers, and they've already made. They're like every new Star Wars movie seems to have like a new design for a lightsaber, right? Ever since Episode 7, you know what I mean? Actually since Episode 1, it's like we get the double-bladed saber, then we get the curved handle saber, right? And then, it's like we just get all these different sabers, which is cool. But when we're talking about, like, Cherie says, I miss original content. It feels like we're at this place with content or IP or movies, Hollywood, whatever. Will we ever really see a renaissance ever again of brand new concepts and ideas?
Well, the fact is they're out there.
And I mean real. I mean real concepts and ideas that actually hit. Not some director going, hey, hey, I want to make my own thing, and so I'm gonna make my own thing. No.
Well, that's the
Like,
key word.
Actually, just do it and have it organically just blow up again.
It's the key word is, like you said, hit. Because the fact is, there's tons of original concepts coming out and original great indie movies and all this stuff. It's just they're either not hitting, or they're not getting the attention and the marketing and all that type of stuff that they probably should. I mean, you look at, as much as I didn't enjoy the movie, I wasn't as crazy about it. I mean, a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once, winning an Academy Award, like a complete original concept in a time when multiverse stuff seems overused and all that. It did something original, and it's kind of had nothing to do with superheroes and all that. So there are things out there. Horror right now is huge. With original concepts and stuff. Like, it's just not getting, unfortunately, the attention that it should deserve.
Well, and that brings up a second point, and I guess is my last point with the Russo brothers thing, for me anyways, is in that article it talks about how different generations are responding differently to media these days, right?
Yeah.
Where older generations are holding to more traditional ways of watching things, like going to the movies, right? Going to the theater and watch stuff. Where younger generation is saying that they want everything right now, right? They want the instant gratification. They want to be able to watch it at home, watch it on their phone, watch it on their tablet, see it now, not have to wait for it, whatever, spoilers galore. They want everything right now. But it also talked about how, like, the difference between, and I don't know if you caught this when I sent it, but it kind of, it just touches a little bit on the idea of the difference between being able to actually understand the concept.
Yeah.
Of what you're watching. And see, this is a problem that we've been talking about for a few years, is there's too many people who watch movies and they don't pay attention to them. And look, that's fine. If you want to watch a movie all day long and waste your time, or like if you don't really care about the movie and you just have it on as background noise, great. The problem is when people who don't pay attention don't want to pay attention, don't care to pay attention. It's not because they tried and they couldn't. It's because they never were there anyways. And then those people start going online and saying, "This sucks."
Right.
Really?
Well, and now it's oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it sucks, huh? And that's the problem, is that then you get this little group of people together. They start this. Oh, this sucks. Or you know what? I'm so sick of hearing the writing is terrible from people who can't write.
Well, I think we're also in a time where it seems like we're in a time of the reboot remake. Like, that's the time period we're in, because you see a lot of that too, right? And I don't mind some, if we see a couple of those here and there, but when it feels like at times that's all it's being released is constant reboots or constant remakes of successful films from the 70s or the 80s, or even some from the 90s. It's like, we really don't need reboots. Let's just get some new content.
Yeah.
I think that I hope at some point we do see like this shift where it's like, all this fresh content. I mean, as Austin was saying, like the horror genre, there's a lot of good horror. I mean, I know horror movies are not for everybody. I fully will accept that. I'm a horror movie fan. I love horror movies. There are a lot of good horror movies coming out or have recently come out. And to Austin's point, they're not getting the attention, the marketing, because I think not because they're not good, but because if we think about comic book movies,
everyone's
not only
focused on comic books
it's not so much when you think about from a money machine perspective, like a comic book movie, like, so let's just use Superman as an example. You're going to make money off of the movie. You're going to make money off of the merchandise, toys, shirts, posters, all this other stuff that's going to be generating revenue because of this movie. Now, I'll use a recent movie, a horror movie that recently came out that's a lot of people either didn't know about and they're just now finding out about it, and it's really good, is Late Night with the Devil. Now, I'm sure the vast majority of the people have never even heard of this movie, but it's a really good horror flick. and it should have gotten a lot more attention than it did. And now that movie, unfortunately, will not generate revenue outside of the fact of the movie itself. And I think that's where a lot of these studios, like, yeah, we'll make this movie, we'll get it out there, but that's all we're gonna do. We're not gonna push any marketing for it. And that's unfortunate because that one, for example, is a really good film.
I mean, that's been like that's like the biggest recurring issue when people are saying, why can't we get more original content? There is a lot of original films out there. Either you don't know that they're out there, or you will go see the big summer blockbuster or movie franchise that already exists over and see that movie, you know?
Well, boy.
Hey, guys, real quick. I got to go. But Austin's going to kind of facilitate and stuff. So keep it going, discuss it all. I got to go. Something came up, and so I got to get going. But I love you all.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Wanted to do the show today because we haven't done a show in over a week. So I will see you all hopefully tomorrow. Okay?
Of course, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. All right, we'll see you later.
Good one. We'll see you, man. All right, so who was
I think DL was
okay, DL
was going.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, like, it is a shame because there's a lot of original movies out there that are really, really good, and a lot of them that even like have won best film, and like it doesn't get as much attention as the summer blockbusters or the mainstream films or the already established franchises. And you did bring up a good point of like those type of films can get more money off of merchandise and toys and stuff like that. So that's probably why they would push that more. But at the same time, though, there's a lot of these films that don't cost that much to make. So it's like if they just put a little bit more marketing to it, I'm sure they would still be able to make their money back. So I don't know. Like, am I expecting them to make action figures of Poor Things? No, I don't think so. But just like if they just put a little more attention, like, you know, maybe some more TV spots, maybe some more trailers. I don't know, because half of the stuff I don't even know they come out until like the month of, the week of, or when they already came out. It's like, oh, this is a great movie, is it? Oh, it's already out. Wait, what? Wait, what is this film that's nominated for Best Picture? Oh, it just won. I never heard of this film. So
that and the fact that a lot of them won't even open up won't even open up for a long period of time in theaters. It's a very short running, maybe a month, if that, and then they pull it, and then it's already heading to streaming or it's heading to a physical release. So it's some studios are willing to invest money, but then they're not willing to let it stay out there for a length of time to see if it can catch fire.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, I just don't. This whole argument about like, oh, there isn't original content out there is kind of bullshit. And I would agree with that. Like, there's tons of original content out there. We're at the peak of content right now. We're at the peak of, we have so many options to the point where it's overwhelmingly, obtuse to try and pick something like on a rainy Tuesday night to watch something, to the point where it, sometimes does get overwhelming and you just turn it off and just watch something on cable or like a streaming service.
Or you end up rewatching the same thing you've watched 100
exactly
times.
Like
Right.
you end up binge watching a show that you've already watched before. And
that was a cycle I found myself in like about a year or two ago. And then I finally said, you know what? Nope, I'm not going to just keep watching the same stuff. So it's like, no, I'm going to watch something new. And if it turns out I like it, great. If I don't like it, well, then, hey, at least I gave it a try. Right. So,
yeah.
That's another thing, though. Like you brought up, like, there's so much original content out there. And it's like, I think the audience has gotten more pickier about what they choose to watch. And so it's like they want to be sure that like whatever they invest their time and money into, that they're for sure that they'll enjoy it. Like even like some of these like indie films or like kind of art housey films, like that's doesn't always appeal to everybody, and it's kind of a mixed response for people. So like it's probably another reason why it doesn't get as much attention. It's like they want to go, as you said, they want to go to something that's familiar. They want to go with something that's a little bit more assured that they'll enjoy it. The nostalgia. going back to what you were saying about they would go back and rewatch a show that
Yeah.
they've watched numerous times because it's comfort food for them, but it, you know.
And don't get me wrong, I'm all for. Hold on, Austin's asking something. Yeah, one if you, one of you guys check out the chat, the private chat, real quick, and see if you guys can. I don't.
I do not have any control over it. Unfortunately.
I think it's just him and Enoch that have control. So, but I mean, so don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm all for nostalgia. I'm all for, I'll revisit some movies here and there. But if anytime you go on any social media platform, it seems like anytime there's a new comic book movie coming up, and I almost feel like for Superman, I can't wait for it to be done with, release it, get it out. Let's get this over with. I mean, the fact that we have to deal with the comparisons and the back and forth for another year, it's almost like exhausting to constantly see who's the best Superman on surveys, or who's the best Batman, or is this person going to do it right or wrong? We haven't seen anything from this next iteration. And the fact that so many people on both sides of the aisle are getting so heated, especially over Man of Steel, that's how many years old? Almost 10, or already 10, over 10. And then you have the people who in the middle, which I feel like I fall more in the middle, because I'm like, well, I like Man of Steel. Right. I like Superman, so I haven't seen enough of what this next version is going to look like. We've seen zero live action teaser trailer. We've seen nothing, but everyone is easily so rushing to judgment that it's just going to be a horrible movie. Well, we don't know if it's going to be a horrible movie. No one has seen it yet.
I feel the same way. As in the middle was like I love Man of Steel, right? I also love I like both directors. That's where I'm at. I like Zack Snyder and I like James Gunn. They both have two very different styles. They're both unique. They both do things differently. But I like each of their approaches, and it's different. And so, it's a weird thing for me, because it's like I don't hate either of them. I'm
yeah, exactly. I am also in the middle. It's like I love Man of Steel. That is probably my favorite Superman movie.
No.
I'm a big I don't care what you got to say, Brad. You already know this, but
Man of Steel's poo poo.
Superman is my favorite comic book character of all time, and I still love that movie. But and I appreciate a lot of what Snyder has done with the DC films. I do have a lot of issues, but I think his visions with the characters were very interesting, very fascinating. But at the same time, I'm at this point where I love James Gunn as well. Like, his Guardians films are some of the best films in the MCU, in my opinion. And overall, I think he's a great storyteller. And I love what he did with Suicide Squad as well, and Peacemaker and all that stuff. So I believe that DC is in good hands with him. And honestly, I'm at a point where I just want DC to be respected again. And I feel like with James Gunn's direction, we'll get closer to that. And I really hope he does get Superman right, because if he can get Superman right, I think everything else will fall into place, because he seems to be the most difficult character to adapt for modern audiences, because there you have people that are still holding on to the nostalgia of Christopher Reeve. You have other people that are holding on to the Man of Steel stuff with Henry Cavill. You have the stuff that are connected to the fans that are connected to the comic book stuff. It's like, it's really hard. And then you have the people that think Superman is boring. And so James Gunn has to find a happy medium for everyone to at least accept or like this new version of Superman, to the point where it can launch a new DC universe again. So no pressure on him, but I do believe he could do it, because of just hearing how much the character means to him, and seeing how good he's been doing with the DC characters, and even see the stuff that he does in Marvel. It's like, he's a really good storyteller. And so I think he truly knows what,
And as much as I want to see that happen, as far as a potential course correct to bring many fans and respect back to the brand, I just don't think we will ever get there. I think you have so many people on one side of the fence. They're either going to, three sides really. You have the nostalgia crowd for Christopher Reeve. you have the Snyder fans, and then you have the Gunn fans. I'm excluding the generals because I don't feel like we're causing much of the issue here.
Well, I think the
we're
casuals are like
open to seeing new things, but this next movie can be a hit. It could be the best Superman movie ever. It can make $2 billion, and you will have the nostalgia and Snyder fans.
You'll still have people exactly.
Still.
But I think what it's getting to a point is, and I think I've said this here before. It's almost like politics.
It is.
The
it's very
fandoms
much
are becoming like politics. There's extremists on both sides, and it's if you don't like James Gunn, and what he's for and all that, then you're absolutely gonna hate it, and there's nothing he can do or that movie can do right to save it. And same with Snyder and all these other guys. I think you might be right in that we'll never get to that place,
and
especially
unfortunately,
with the way things are going now.
And unfortunately, Marvel hasn't experienced this yet. They will at some point.
They kind of starting to.
Well, when I say that, what I mean by that is we have yet. I'm going to exclude the castings and the Avengers film from the 70s. Chris Evans has not been replaced. We have not seen a brand new Captain America with a brand new origin story. With a new origin story being told. Same thing with every main character that we've seen in the MCU. Well, that's Thor, Iron Man. So imagine
Evans hasn't been replaced, but in a weird sense, Captain America has, and already that's got tons of.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, for example, we'll use Captain America. So what I'm saying is, we have not seen Captain America. Here's the first film. Here's the new first film of Captain America. Here's how we're going to tell his origin story.
Right. No, I
we have not seen that.
But I think both add to the point in that, like.
I agree. I think MCU will face this pick a side problem in the next 5 to 7 years when they start thinking, we've kind of run out of runway. The train has ended here. Now what do we do? Oh, let's do a reboot now. We're gonna
exactly.
And then you're gonna have people with the biggest one being Robert Downey Jr. saying, well, I like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I don't like Austin as Iron Man.
Well, they're doing Marvel's doing that shit right now with the Fox stuff. Like they're like, what do we do? We're gonna bring all this Fox stuff in because everybody hated all this Fox stuff. Nobody ever liked this Fox stuff, but we're gonna pretend that everybody's gonna have all this nostalgia for all this Fox stuff that no one liked and everyone ridiculed for years. But now people are gonna act like, oh my goodness, I want to see all the, like it's ridiculous.
There were parts of that universe that people really loved. That I love.
Like two parts.
They weren't great movies. Like
same Raimi movies.
A few of them
and
were.
Hugh Jackman. That's
X2 was good. You had obviously Days of Future Past and First Class, like that were big appeals and stuff. So they had big like that, and that's what Marvel's doing, right? They're leaning into the things that people wanted to see back there. So bringing Hugh Jackman back, obviously, they're probably going to set up that we see Hugh Jackman and those X-Men with Tobey's Spider-Man and all these things that, like, in our heads we wanted to see back then. We wish they would have done, but they didn't or just couldn't for whatever. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like they're not like great films, and obviously now the times have shown us we can make much better superhero movies. But they still have, a lot of likability to them. There's still something about those early 2000 superhero movies, like Spider-Man, like X-Men, there was something, like they knew what they were. They were corny. They were cheesy. It's kind of what I, said Blue Beetle was. It was a 2000 type superhero movie in the best way. Like it was fun version. And engaging and oh, stop. But yeah.
Yeah, I think for the time though, I mean, the first X-Men movie came out in 2000, so we're talking 24 years ago. I think for the time, it served its purpose. It was good for the time, as you pointed out. Obviously, as time has gone on, we've seen how superhero movies can be drastically better. But for the year 2000, and I mean, even that first trilogy, the last one came out in 2006, so now that one's 18 years old. So I think again for the time, those were we actually get to see a live action X-Men movie. We actually get to see these characters in live action. But again, now I mean a lot's changed in 24 or 25 years since that first film came out. So
exactly,
and expectations are higher, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we've seen exactly. Real quick, and then we'll get back to it. I just want to address. I can't personally bring it up on screen, but I'll shout out Tony. Thank you so much for the super chat, man, for $4.99 super chat. Had a question for us. Do you guys think it's possible to make a good female lead comic book movie, despite some bombs in the past and some hidden gems as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, short answer, absolutely. I mean, Wonder Woman showed that. Yeah, absolutely. Short. It's just about, I think, sticking to the characters and doing stuff that you know just making a good movie. I think that's the biggest thing, making a good movie and leaning into those things about the female character that are that, like X-Men right now, X-Men 97, the stuff that they're doing with Rogue and with Storm. And
here we go with 97 again.
Look, if you're not gonna watch the movie and hate on it, well, you got nothing to say. I'm sorry. You are missing out on some amazing storytelling with X-Men. So don't be talking crap and you haven't watched the show. That's all I can say for all of you that are hating and you haven't watched the show. Come on.
I've seen the first 15 minutes of it and I turn it off. I don't care.
Only 15. He's only judging from 15 minutes.
We don't.
I watched some of it.
We just don't worry about him. We just
and 97 in the first place. That animated series is overrated as hell.
Ignorance can be bliss sometimes.
So I'll say yeah. So I'll say I won't insert myself into that argument. So I'll say yes to the question.
Get back to the question. Yeah.
I think Marvel's attempt to that was the Black Widow film, and it didn't turn out to be as successful as they had thought, even though that character was established already in the MCU across other films. They thought, oh, this might be our quote unquote Wonder Woman opportunity, and it didn't pan out. I think DC has a great opportunity for Supergirl. I mean, they've obviously already casted her. I think they've said the script is done. I mean, they obviously we know they tried doing Supergirl back in 1984. That didn't work out because I mean there was a lot of nonsense going back with that film as well as Christopher Reeve's Superman. So unfortunately, that one really suffered. I think that one even could have been better with I think Helen Slater was Supergirl. Yeah.
Well, and I think when you break it down too, a lot of these female characters, they're very connected to male character or to teen character, and so if you're going to do it, you got to be I don't know, to be honest, as much as I love these characters, I don't know that a solo Storm movie would work, right? And if you did, you have to involve other characters from these. You can't just do it where she's the. But I think when you look at it, same with Captain Marvel, she's kind of a team player. There wasn't a lot of interest there after the first one. So Supergirl, very attached to Superman. Batwoman, very attached to Bat. So I think if you're gonna do it, you have to do characters honestly with kind of like Wonder Woman. She's got her own mythology, the Amazons and all this type of stuff, and all that. There's a whole rich history there for you to go. Yeah, we can do a solo movie without really having to rely on her establishment in the overall universe.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say, I guess I will slightly insert myself into the X-Men 97 discussion. The only thing I will say about X-Men 97 is that they've done very well not relying on Wolverine, Cyclops as the primary carriers of this season thus far. They have put the attention on the other characters of the X-Men like Rogue, Storm, Forge, Jean, now Cable. So
it's how it's supposed to be.
Which was nice to see, because I think a lot of people can make the argument, well, we've seen so much of Wolverine, whether it's live action, animated. So this was, I think, a nice change where that character took a back seat, and it wasn't
100%.
You're not really seeing much of Wolverine in the
and you don't feel it in a way that they're trying to exclude him either, or they're doing it because of
he doesn't feel missed. It's not like, man, where's Wolverine at in this scene?
Exactly. He still has a purpose. He's still there, and it's just. But yeah, like you said, it's focusing on what makes the team X-Men so great. Correct. All these different characters, all of them. I think that's another thing that we're kind of used to with the movies is okay, well, Wolverine's kind of the leader, or whoever is kind of and in a sense, they're all leaders. They all take the lead, at a certain time when they're needed and all that type of thing. It's so.
One of
I
my
mean,
biggest issues with those X-Men films, because they make it seem like Wolverine, Professor X, and Magneto are the most interesting characters in the X-Men universe, and that is not true at all. A lot of people thinking that Cyclops sucks in that, and this show proves how great Cyclops can be as a
but
character.
also too, those movies played Cyclops as like the love triangle asshole.
And that was even that sucked in those movies. But like what this show once again proves is that these characters, all these characters, can be very interesting. They have their own dynamics and own backstories. They have their own interesting personalities. This actually felt like an ensemble show because the X-Men is an ensemble. It's not just about one person. So
I mean, dude, even little things to me, like it's like even the way that they address politics or other things. I mean, this last episode had this kind of, in a sense, like a coming out type scene, but it was done so beautifully and so like in the sense of a comic. Like he's not coming out as gay; he's coming out as a mutant to his family, and it was this real. I mean, it's brilliant. The stuff that they're doing is exactly what the comics aimed and did back in the day, and now doing it in with today's messages and times and stuff. I think for me it really is. It's the comics in an animation form, and I love the animation.
Have you read the comics?
I've read a few of the comics, absolutely. X-Men was probably one of the only Marvel comics that I read growing up because I was a big DC guy. But I read House of M. I read a few Wolverine comics.
Well, that's my problem. That's my problem with the '97 shit and a lot of the fans. Is that this whole idea that this is the blueprint of how the X-Men should be in live action, or how they should be going forward in any written format, when it shouldn't. They have an aspect of the comics down accurately, with the politics, the mutant stuff, and all that crap, and like you guys said, like not making one specific X-Men the front runner of the team, because that's not how it is in the comics. It's never how it is.
Right.
And it never will be, and it never should be. Granted, I give them some leeway with the films because the way some of the actors were cast and written to begin with, there was no way you could have made any of those characters as likable as they were unlikable. There was no way they would have made Anna Paquin's Rogue a frontrunner in those films. That would have been horrible. So like it would have worked with some people, and I do think that's how X-Men should be going forward in live action. That aspect of them, Wolverine should not be in the front and center at all fucking times, because it's so annoying seeing that crap.
Exactly.
Because there's so many X-Men, and not just like the core X-Men that we all know of. There's a plethora of X-Men in the universe of Marvel that don't get the limelight, even in the comics and even in the shows and stuff like that. That people have no idea who the hell these mutants are, that are even cooler than some of the main ones that we already know of. So that's also an aspect of X-Men that should be essential going forward in live action.
Well, and as much as I would love to see that, I mean, as far as some of the, I don't want to say lesser known, but I mean, that's the best way to put it, start to show up in live action, is the general audience just doesn't know them. And unless you can find a way to get them introduced and to then care about those characters versus the mainstream ones, you're going to lose. I think you'll lose money.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think you can do that with X-Men live action. Like with Fantastic Four, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only chance that Fantastic Four is a massive success is because fucking Pedro Pascal is in the front running of the cast. That's the only reason.
I wouldn't say it's the only reason, but it will be a large part of the reason, but not the only.
I don't see that film being good, to be honest. I really don't. I don't see a way how you can make.
Well, it has a lot. It's gonna have a lot to prove because they've already attempted three films with this.
Yeah.
with this,
And not
Fantastic
only
Four
all
in it.
three of them have missed the point of what Fantastic Four
Exactly.
is. And that's why you're saying there's no way they could do it in live action, because you got
no way.
filmmakers who don't understand the characters. That's why.
Well, and not only that, with Fantastic Four, they're doing something that they honestly should have started doing at the beginning of the multiverse saga, in that you had an opportunity to, for the first time in 10 years, or however long 10 years since Endgame, and Iron Man, to separate yourself from the MCU, but still give yourself an excuse to say it's connected with the multiverse. I mean, I think stuff like, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four. Honestly, we should have been seeing a lot of these newer characters early on, Fantastic Four and the X-Men, I think. And they should have been movies completely on their own outside of the MCU that were then brought in the multiverse saga. It gives people that fresh chance of getting a break from the MCU. You don't have to worry about that continuity. Like, that's, for me, that's the big thing going for the Fantastic Four movie. Outside of the Pedro thing, is that you have an opportunity here to almost, in your own way, do an Elseworlds movie, and to not worry about the we'll see you, nerd. Thanks for joining us, man. But to not worry about the continuity, or to not worry about any of this other crap, you can actually just worry about those four characters and the Fantastic Four and all this other stuff. So I think that's a missed opportunity that I think they should have done earlier. I think you could have even done it with, like I said, with Doctor Strange, and that, like, we see that movie could have been a whole different Doctor Strange in a different universe or something like that. Like,
a lot more trippy and weird with the first Doctor Strange.
I'll be honest. Like, I could see, like, I think Scott Derrickson would have done really well with that sequel and making it like a full-on horror movie, like, in something that wasn't connected to the mainline MCU, but because it's Doctor Strange, like, he can access the multiverse. You could have done a lot with that sets up this whole multiverse saga.
I think Sam Raimi wanted to do it, and that's why they got him after Derrickson. I think Derrickson had to drop out, actually, because he was doing Black Phone or something, I thought.
Well, no, it was that he
forgot exactly why.
That was one of the reasons, but also he put his foot down in that he wanted to make that dark horror, almost pretty much R-rated Doctor Strange, and
they have
did
history.
not want to go with that.
They've had history with Sam Raimi, with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. Aren't necessarily like super horrific, but they are pretty dark in nature.
And you have to admit that Raimi has a more fun sense to his horror. It's more that's more in line with the Marvel. Scott Derrickson will go straight trying to scare kids shitless out of their seats. Like, it would be. Like,
I would love that.
Oh, we wouldn't have seen. We would have seen. John Krasinski wouldn't have turned into spaghetti. He would have, if he would have turned into spaghetti in that version, he would have been like put into like a meat grinder.
Yeah.
Derrickson, he would have put him through that. But no, what were we talking about? The Multiverse of Madness.
Well, I mean, this all started.
I was just talking about, like, the opportunity I think Marvel could have taken, as far as, like, that were in the multiverse saga, that you can do almost Elseworld type films.
Well, no, fuck that. No, F that. No, when you bring in the Fantastic Four after all this time, after almost 20 years of the MCU, and you bring in the X-Men, and you bring in the Fantastic Four. Don't dance around like, oh, they're from this Elseworld universe, and how are we going to retrofit them into our timeline?
Yeah, tell us, Bradley, how are we going to retrofit them into the already established MCU?
Yeah, exactly. We're 10 years into a universe,
saying,
I've never heard the word mutant.
I'm saying do that in the film. Don't dance around it and wait to do it in the next film, like for a team-up movie, because you already know the next film that they're in, they're just going to shove a line of dialogue, a few sentences of dialogue, maybe even like one or two of like, oh, how are you here? Where are you from? And they're gonna, oh, I'm from this crazy timeline where all this, and you have all this like stupid line of dialogue, and they're gonna throw it off like a joke, and it's not gonna mean anything. No, I want to see them being retrofitted into the MCU in a meaningful way, just
Well,
like with
how
the
are you
X-Men.
gonna-
I don't
but
want to see the
this is the
X-Men.
thing. You're just not gonna get that until the reboot. Until they literally
Well, I think that's
start
fucking
all
stupid.
over.
That's really
Because-
stupid. Just doing this.
but-
Oh, we're
but
gonna do
that's-
this.
But that's just where we are, right? In this unit, we're
It's
dealing
stupid.
with multiverse stuff. There's already X-Men established and all that. So like, you're gonna get that. It's just gonna probably be in that new rebooted establishment because you have to. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do X-Men and Fantastic, you have that has to be established from the beginning. That's got to be known from the start of that. Like, this is a world of mutants. This is a world of superheroes. This is a world of This is
No, but that's lazy.
You know,
it's lazy as shit. Just like I have a problem with the Tom Holland Spider-Man stuff. He has no original villains. He has like 3 original villains, and they sucked. But aside from Michael Keaton as Vulture, like he and maybe Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, he's okay.
I agree with you.
But like that's what they're doing with the X-Men. Like I don't give a fuck about Michael. I don't care about Kelsey Grammer coming back as Beast, and him being forced in from the Fox universe, and now they're going to retrofit the X-Men in the MCU from the Fox universe. I'm like, can't you figure out any other way to do this?
But that's
like,
really
I don't want that either.
But that's
I do
just
not
for the
want that.
time being, and you guys have to look at it like this too. Like,
no, but it's lazy though.
Maybe, but it's also taking advantage of the business opportunity. I mean, look, this is where I start to agree with William a little bit, right? In that, like, this is just part of the business. This is a smart move on Kevin Feige. Why not take advantage
I disagree on that.
of these incredibly popular characters, whether you like them or not? People love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. People love Halle Berry as Storm. People
No, they do not.
People love Patrick Stewart. They do. You don't. You
No,
don't.
they
Trust me, I don't like those X-Men films either. But I cannot deny there are a lot of people out there that have nostalgia for those X-Men films. So they will go see it.
But not just that, right? Because these were the first comic book movies for us growing up, right? So it's not just the nostalgia; it's also that, like, for us comic book nerds growing up seeing these movies for the first time. Yes, it was awesome, and it was revolutionary because they hadn't been on screen on all that. But also, we never got that opportunity to see them fully interact with their whole universe because they were all separated. Universal had, frickin' Hulk, Fox had the X-Men, Sony had Spider-Man, whoever had Paramount had Captain and Iron Man, so that is the main, like, thing here that I think you guys are missing is whether you guys like it or not, that's huge. The fact that we're getting to see the first established comic book movie characters getting, like, from the 2000s that, like, ignited this whole generation, this whole era that we're in right now.
Babe, you're missing
with
the
the
point.
modern day MCU and superheroes. You're talking.
You're missing the point.
You're literally talking billions. Like,
you're missing the point of the argument. If this was the plan all along for one day, hey, we're gonna bring in these Fox characters that no one really gives a crap about, other than the little freaking kids that
you
saw
keep
it.
saying
Like,
that, but
I
Logan
was one of those
made $1
kids.
billion, and all these other movies were highly
Hold on, though.
successful.
Let me
Days
finish
of Future
talking,
Past.
please.
So people
I
gave
was
a
one
crap.
of those kids that grew up with those films, and I got into X-Men from those X-Men films that were not X-Men films. They said they were X-Men films, but I grew up knowing that they weren't really the X-Men, so I always had that in the back of my head, right?
Yeah.
Until you get stuff like maybe X2 and Logan, which still isn't really X-Men, but it's the best that we can get out of those films, right?
Yeah. It was until, like, the Deadpool movies that gave you a glimpse of, oh, this is how closer to what the X-Men
exactly.
Or Days of Future Past, I think, is probably one of the closest. Even outside
I will say
of Logan,
I'm in the
because
minority.
I love Logan, but Logan is very much it does not take a lot from Old Man Logan at all.
No, it doesn't. No.
Nope.
But it's still good. It's still good. It's still good.
It's still good, but it's its own story. It's very much its own story.
No, and I know I'm in the minority. I don't enjoy Days of Future Past. I don't like what they did. Even though I haven't read the comic, I did I would talk to some people that do know the comic and like what they did with the changes and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not really a big fan of the changes, but not just that. I'm just not really a big fan of the movie, to be honest. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't hit for me like it does for everyone else, which is fine. But
I love it.
No,
okay.
If that was like the plan from all along, then I'd be like, cool. But they're doing this just for the sake of doing it because they have nothing else going for them. And I don't see a lot of people bring this up too, because like they did mess up with James Gunn. This all stems from their trash decision with James Gunn. If they didn't fire James Gunn, they would be in the position of him being where Kevin Feige is right now, building out the cosmic aspect of the Marvel Universe, which is still not even really there, to be honest. Like, they haven't really done anything with it,
Like,
even
what
when he
is
was
there?
there.
What is there? Eternals?
Well, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but just the in general building out the world of the Marvel Universe outside of Earth and stuff like that. Maybe with multiverses and shit. But
I do think that James Gunn firing did cause somewhat of a domino effect with that.
Yes.
So I see you there, and like, yeah, this whole multiverse saga, it never felt like it had a plan from the get go. It literally just feels like they were throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. And now that they have Fox, now they will take that opportunity to have all these nostalgia Fox characters come in Deadpool. Hopefully Deadpool 3 will still be great, because I do want to see Deadpool and Wolverine together, but just like, do people really want to see these Fox X-Men and Elektra and Tim Story's Fantastic Four possibly crossover?
Okay, but if you're doing the crappy ones, right, then yeah, Deadpool's the perfect place to do that, because they're gonna make fun of it, they're gonna do that type of thing. So like,
but almost all of them are crappy.
And why not? Why not address the those ones? And that,
I mean,
but
sure,
they still
yeah,
exist, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing, is it may not be for you guys, but like, it's gonna make a ton of money just based off of that fact of that, like, there are fans massively, of that universe. There are people that just like Nerd, and I were talking earlier about, like, people are gonna get upset with the recastings of Iron Man and Wolverine and Captain America. Wolverine's in that category now, like,
we only had
some
one
of those
live action Wolverine, so that for 20 years, over 20 years. So
Wait, what?
We only had one interpretation of Wolverine in live action for over 20 years. So.
Exactly. And so, and for a long time, right? Even when they were recasting Magneto and Stewart and Xavier, there was a lot of controversy over that. Of like, do we want to? So like, it's gonna happen. It's just, why not take advantage of the moment? You paid all this money, you had all these characters, you had all these, and it's not like the X-Men universe went out on the greatest note, either, with fucking Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. So like, it's gonna be a nice thing, I think, for a lot of fans. That it'll be nice for me to hopefully see an end to that universe and see see them interact with all of these great characters that I've grown to know and love. And
the X-Men universe in live action had an end, a definitive end, at least 5 different times in 5 different movies. Stop it. I don't care about where they are. I don't care about where they went. The fucking ending of Days of Future Past, when Logan sees all the cast back, that is my canon ending to that universe.
That was
and it has,
ending. Yeah, that's a great
exactly. Ending. It has been for a lot of people. No.
That freaking apocalypse had to come out.
No.
Apocalypse had to come out. God damn it.
Let him die, please.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's just.
See, I think it's just one of those things that you have to balance the business and the fandom with this, and the fact is, you're gonna make billions bringing in Wolverine and bringing.
I
in
don't
the
think they're gonna
original
make
X-Men.
billions.
I think it will make $1 billion. I think this is probably the only thing.
Gonna be huge.
Yeah, if it's not
when
Mufasa,
they do Secret Wars and you see all those, like, it's gonna be huge, right? So you got to balance the business and the fandom of, why not take advantage of that? Why not take advantage of the business and all of that? And then plan out, and hopefully have yourself set up for the future and afterwards, to where you're rebooted and you restart this whole thing with new cast, new characters, and now for the first time too, you're starting it with, you own the whole universe. I'm
gonna wait. I'm not gonna say any Marvel film is gonna make $1 billion. I'm very skeptical in saying any film is gonna make $1 billion.
I'll tell you right now,
just how rare it is, especially on precedent that someone from another film is making a cameo in it. That hasn't boded well for the last few films that have had cameos in them. and no one really gives a shit anymore.
At this point, I think there are only 3 movies this year that could possibly make a, well, maybe 4. Is Deadpool, Mufasa, and
What? Dude, nobody's gonna go watch
2019 made $1 billion.
It
and
did,
it was
but
a terrible
okay,
movie.
That's like saying Zack Snyder's Justice League was gonna make $1 billion after BVS. It made a bunch of money that
you never
first
know,
one, but it did
because
not get a good.
you never know, because it is
Reception.
geared for kids, so you're gonna have a bunch of kids and families.
Yeah, you're gonna have kids. That's your biggest appeal. That's the biggest thing about if that movie makes a bunch of money. That's why.
So, Enosh is gone, but there's breaking news.
Breaking news!
A G.I. Joe Snake Eyes game is in the works that will be similar to the Batman Arkham games. Will be developed by Atomic Arcade, whose leadership were behind Batman Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
So, there you go, Enosh. You're gonna. I don't know if he plays AAA games, but you're gonna have AAA Snake Eyes game. It sounds like.
Now that piques my interest.
That could be good.
That could be very good.
Could be interesting.
No,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So.
No. Let's see. Is there anything else you guys wanted to cover or talk about?
Well, I wasn't able to talk much about can they make a good female-led superhero movie?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's like I think it's 100% possible. Like, we have seen many examples of great female characters in comic book movies, and it's like it shouldn't be that hard to make an origin out of them. The only thing is that I think, and this has been kind of an issue when it comes to female characters, specifically ones that are produced by Disney, is that they have a hard time making them relatable, or they would make them Mary Sue's, or they would make them unlikable. And, I think there is a way for them to do great female characters and not go through the typical tropes that we've seen from stuff like Star Wars and some of the other Marvel stuff as well. But like Miss Marvel, for example, if that was a movie, I think it would have been really good, because I think Kamala Khan is a great female led superhero. She's so likable, she's charming, her powers are cool. Her origin, like, I was able to follow everything. He has a great supporting cast with his family and with their family and friends. So, like, it's possible, Like, yeah, there's some Captain Marvels in there, and there's some, talk about the older stuff like Elektra and Catwoman and the other Supergirl movie that, oh my God, one of the worst films I've ever seen. But I do think if they just take what they apply to with the males, which shouldn't be that hard. Even Across the Spider-Verse, bruh. Across the Spider-Verse, even though, yes, Gwen is a derivative character of Spider-Man, but she still was a very well-written character. So it is possible, So I just think they just really... Huh?
She's the only interesting character in those films.
Wow. Okay. But yes, I do think it is possible. And I do have a lot of hope that when James Gunn has his Supergirl come out, that I think we'll start to see a turn of more good female-led comic book movies.
Yeah.
So.
But even then, like I said, right? It's gonna be, if you're gonna do all that type of stuff, just do it right. And don't make the female character something she's not. Right? Like, don't make her want to be guy. Don't make her. And if she's reliant, like if it's Supergirl, then yeah, Superman should be in the movie. Superman should be ref, all these type of things, like, because it's hard. I think unless it's Wonder Woman or a few others that have like big lores or universes like that. The other one I can think of that I think would make a really great solo film is like a Hawkgirl movie, because you've got her whole history with her planet and all that, and her coming to Earth, and so.
I think it all comes down to, you absolutely can have a great female superhero film led by her own. If you look at the plethora of female-led films in the past decade alone, like even the past 10 years, there's been some really great ones. outside of superhero films. So like it all comes down to getting a great writer, a great director, and not putting yourself in a box by a studio, because most of the time when you have these female-led films, the studio puts kind of the people who are making them in a box, like, oh yeah, you have to make this super ultra, feministic and
100%.
all this. You have to mark all these boxes and stuff like that. So as long as you're not doing that to yourself and kind of putting yourself in a corner, then yeah, I think it can be done very easily.
Yep. You don't even have to just look at superhero examples. Just as you said, just look at the action films that we've gotten with superhero leads. Look at just the regular. Look at even just the regular Disney films with female leads. Like, there's so many examples of how you can write a really good character. You don't have to just go off of the comic book movies we've gotten before. Just look at all the other examples with great female leads in general. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like I said, it's all relying on a good story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially in horror, dude. Like, horror is just, like, popping with great female leads, Even if they're, like, supposed to be crazy and, like, serial killers or whatever. I mean, they're still greatly written, and, there's tons of... And they're written by all sorts of people that, just know how to write well. That's all it comes down to.
Yep. And most importantly, great female lead does not mean they have to be the strong, powerful warriors. No, they don't all have to be the same thing. Like, a great female character can also be very feminine and gentle as well. And I feel like we're starting to get away from that too, when that they can be great characters as well. So as we were just talking about, like, don't make the female characters make them,
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Any other topics or any other things you guys want to discuss before I figure we use the last 15 minutes if we want, or we can close it now? Or
I don't care for the live action Scooby-Doo thing coming out, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But Flynn's coming back in Tron. Cool. All right, we'll see how that goes.
We got that wonderful live action Mufasa trailer yesterday, and that was just
horrible. It just felt like another. It felt like another crappy live action remake, man. Like, I couldn't even tell what was going on in the trailer. I was like,
that one looked like a straight up Disney Plus movie.
Yeah, it's just like
the 3-part series finale of X-Men 97 begins tonight.
It's a 3-part finale?
For those of you that are watching, yes, part 1 debuts tonight. If you guys haven't been following, the show is, and I am not exaggerating, the best Marvel show they have produced yet.
Period.
It is, period. No argument, no debate. There is nothing you can say will change this. These are facts.
I cannot wait to gush about this on my live.
Dude, it's that if you guys have not been paying attention to X-Men 97, pay attention, because let me tell you something. It is.
Don't do it. Don't listen to the brainwash.
Superhero content. This is coming from somebody that has seen 15
minutes
of it.
Don't listen to it.
And knows nothing.
What do you mean I know? Hold on. Though. What do you mean I know nothing? Every single goddamn week, you and everyone else, all you do is talk about this show online. So all I see
what
is
are you
shit about
talking
this
about?
show.
I don't have anybody to talk about this show with. I have to internally hold it in. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know everything that's happened. Devin tells me about it.
Oh my God,
I see it all over online. I know everything that happens every week of this show. I can't get it off my feet.
Because it's so good, man.
You sound like our friend Mike when we tell him about a good show, and he's like, "No, everybody's talking about it. I must be the contrarian and say no."
No, I'm saying everyone's talking about it, and you say I don't know anything about it. When that's impossible.
Oh, because you've heard everybody talk about it so much. But
yes,
it's impossible to not know anything about it. All I see is shit about it.
I'm just personally happy because you guys know how much I disliked a majority of the Marvel films over the past couple of years. Like I have been like, it has been some poo poo for a lot of them, and for this to come out and not only be above average, but actually bring me back to what
Dude,
I
it's
love about
excellent.
X-Men.
It
Like,
is excellent. You know what? Somebody put on Twitter today, and I'm ready to say it. Absolutely, 100%, easy win. X-Men 97 this season, way better than Invincible season 2. I will
okay,
take
hold on,
X-Men
wait a
97.
minute, hold on.
Oh no!
I don't know if I can
Better.
go there yet. Wait a minute.
Better.
Oh no!
Because let me tell you something. This show is what Invincible season 2 aspired to be, which was like, oh, we're gonna do like a season finale and episodes. Every episode is like, and it was. I'm sorry, it was lackluster. It was this. It was that. This show, oh my god, the stakes. Every episode is just ending with like, you can't keep me hanging for another.
Medium
That's
rare, overdone. What kind of steaks
I'm
we
sorry.
talking?
Say what?
What kind of steaks we talking?
It's that nice medium
You can go
rare.
watch the show and you can figure out the stakes for yourself.
I'm
not
trying
gonna
to figure out right
spoil it
now.
for you.
Medium rare, well done.
Jesus Christ.
What are we talking?
Well, I'm personally a well done guy, and
Well, there are some human stakes on that show, so let me tell you, they definitely were well done. After the Sentinels were done with them, but
Gambit's not gonna stay dead.
well, it is the Marvel
blood pressure
universe, but
Gambit will come back to life. They're not gonna keep Gambit dead.
Are you sure, sir?
And even if they do,
Yeah.
guess what? They already set it up to where like I'm happy either way. You set your story up and it's great enough either way to do whatever you want. it's good. You have my trust.
I don't know why they fired the showrunner, but they need to bring him back. They need to bring him
Well,
back.
Bring
I,
him back.
want to wait.
Seriously.
I want to wait because it could be something bad.
I mean, yes, because the finale always like a Marvel show where like we'd be going, oh, that's pretty decent. This is pretty good so far. I'm liking this, and then the ending just shits the bed. So I'm preparing myself if
I
that
think,
does
man,
happen.
that would suck because it's been so good so far. It's been like I'm saying, this is. I'm not trying to exaggerate. This is like 10 out of 10 content. They are hitting all of the right
Stop
notes.
it.
Everything.
I don't want to
doing-
hear I don't want to hear about WandaVision ever again. This is
everything that they are doing with these characters is so core to the X-Men characters, and it's just, I mean, like I said, this is the type of impact that I imagine like the comics were having, and that those stories were having, because it's just like these are powerful stories. It's not a little simple, like, what do you call it, filler episode, that's got a little, like, no, these are powerful episodes with a lot of stuff happening and a lot to take in. And that's what I love about it too, is that they approached it as like, this is the series, for adults, for the adults that grew up watching the show. Here's an adult show.
I've heard that so many times the past like few weeks.
It's a beautiful
Oh my
thing.
God.
It's a beautiful thing.
We know it.
You're just angry because we're all enjoying it and you have to sit there and hate it.
No, I am happy for people that are enjoying it, but my God, I can't even get it. I can't even watch it because all I'm hearing, oh my God, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. Oh my God, watch it. I can't even like put it on because all I hear in my ear is how fucking amazing it is. But I can't even have a chance to like it for myself. I'm hearing how much of a
that sounds like a
masterpiece
you
it is.
problem.
And a 10 out of 10 when,
That sounds like a you
all
problem.
I hear is spoilers and I can't even watch the show. I don't even really want to.
And don't bash it.
I'm not. How you guys are on a panel with me. I'm sitting here about you guys gushing and coming over this show. So I am supposed to silence myself?
And I will continue to come all over this show.
My God.
I'll say this. This is exactly how I felt when people were like keep talking about how great WandaVision is. That's all I heard. It was like, oh, it's so great. It's
I'm supposed to
amazing.
sit here and stay quiet.
Well, that's how we all get whenever a show. You know, I kind of feel the same way. But that's not to say I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just taking my time with it. I felt the same way
I
about
never
Shogun.
said.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't. But like everybody's raving about it,
I
and I feel
never
like
said.
if I go into it now, I'm gonna come out with the opinion of like, oh, it's so overhyped and blah blah blah. So I'm giving it a little bit of breathing time.
I
I'm gonna
never
watch
said
it
this
for
show
sure.
was trash, or anything like that, or the writing wasn't good because I haven't seen it and I have no knowledge to even say that kind of thing. I have no interest in it and I'm tired of hearing about it. That's all.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's all.
Fair enough.
Kill me.
Okay.
We will. No.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I think with that I'll text Enosh and let them know that we're about ready to wrap up here.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say is there's
Rebel Moon 2
if
sucks.
you want to watch that too, Rebel Moon Part 2 was horrible.
Yeah, it was not
but,
good.
If you're on Twitter, Kaiju number 14, no.14 on Twitter, is doing an English translation for Godzilla -1 when it comes out on digital. So if you want to watch Godzilla -1 with the original English subtitles, pay attention to their Twitter this weekend, and you'll be able to rewatch
Godzilla -1 sucks.
That is.
I'm an English dubber. So.
Don't even try to say that as a joke, Austin, because you love the film. So.
Trash. Utter
Don't even try to say that as a joke.
It doesn't even get Godzilla as a character.
That's just not even. That's not even good as a troll, dude.
But yeah, I'm an English dubber, so I'll watch the English dub.
You like the Japanese English subtitle?
I try to watch Japanese with English subtitles, and it's like it's rough for me, man. It's like it's hard for me to follow what's going on while also trying to read what they're saying. Yeah. You know, and then there's some voices, especially with anime, there's certain voices that the Japanese have that are so bad. I'm like, no.
Well, I heard the English dub was pretty bad. I just don't like the over dramatic.
The English dub?
Yeah, there's some English dubs out there that are bad too. So don't get me wrong, but just like
not all of them are bad though.
Yeah, not all of them, but just like I feel like I could tolerate a bad English dub over a bad Japanese stuff.
Well, I think the Japanese stuff for -1 is pretty brilliant. It's pretty great. The acting is, pretty top notch.
Yeah,
I just don't think that movie should be the blueprint for Godzilla going forward.
Well, no, because Godzilla is a lot of things.
No one's ever said that.
Well, actually, no. There are some people, especially comparing it.
Well, no. Let me rephrase that. No one that should be taken seriously has ever said that.
Like everybody's like, why can't Godzilla Kong be like that, man? Why can't this Godzilla films be like -1? Because they're not all like -1.
Yeah. As much as New Empire sucked, it's okay to have films like that. It's okay to have fun Godzilla films like that.
Let me have my Power Rangers, man.
I mean, it's been a reoccurring thing since the 60s and 70s.
Sure, the Showa era. There was all that silly stuff.
Even the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, all of them were mixed. All of them had their moments. Even the serious ones had their silly moments.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Godzilla -1 sucks. No, okay.
Not even. Wow.
The opinions of Austin do not reflect the opinion.
If you were in Japan right now, they would probably shoot you.
I'd be fine. Look at that. Look at that trash design. Look at that giant animatronic puppet looking.
It's not an animatronic. First, we're already trolling. What best special effects at the Oscars?
Saw it in the theaters with me twice. So. He likes the
against my
film.
will. I was tied up.
He's just trolling me because I trolled him, and well, I wasn't trolling. I was just being honest about X-Men '97. He's just being trolling about that. Girl,
Godzilla's gay. Okay. King Kong.
What if he is
King
gay?
Kong literally bitch slaps Godzilla.
What if Godzilla is gay? What's the problem with that?
Then you know what? He deserves everything coming to him.
Aren't you? Never mind.
Are you gay?
No, DL, I'm a closeted homosexual. Okay. Shout out to anybody who got that reference.
Oh God, I'm
The
dead.
key word is closeted homosexual.
You're
God.
I did text Enosh that we're ready to wrap up, so we're just waiting on him to
Waiting for
come
him
in
to.
here.
What if he just randomly just?
I don't
ends it
want to
while
wait.
We're talking.
Oh, this.
Yeah,
He had to go. He's got a family.
Oh my God.
Some people unfortunately think that he doesn't have, but he does have one, and he has obligations to said family.
Oh yeah. By the way, I know you're watching. Thank you for deleting all. I wanted to say this earlier, but thank you for deleting all of your tweets and all of the interactions that we spent over like an hour on Twitter the other day. Little bitch boy, I see that.
Oh,
I
guys.
see you.
Guys, breaking news. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Her web will connect us all. Again, Madam Web is coming to Netflix on May 14th. Guys, the number one superhero movie of 2024.
Hey, it's better than Rebel Moon. I'll say that.
It was far more entertaining than Rebel
I plead
Moon.
the fifth.
And I didn't have to sit there as long. Also, they just said that the Godzilla, the black stuff on the chick's neck and Godzilla -1 are Godzilla.
Wait, what?
Stuff.
The Godzilla, the black stuff. What?
They're making a black Godzilla.
Yes,
movie,
Takashi Yamazaki.
A black Godzilla.
It's a black Godzilla. Jamie Foxx will be playing Godzilla.
Yes, Takashi Yamazaki did confirm that the cells on what's her name? God damn it, I forgot her name at the end of the film.
Don't even try.
Yuriko or Yumiko, I forgot her name. But the cells on her neck are Godzilla's cells. So.
Okay, isn't he
He
still
impregnated
trying to do
her.
an odd movie, Jamie Foxx?
Which one? Takashi Yamazaki?
You were just talking about Jamie Foxx earlier.
Are you telling me that Godzilla's black goo is now all over this girl?
No, it's so the way she survived is probably the radiation poisoning, and his cells are probably what helped her regenerate. It's because if you even watch that scene again,
is she going to give birth to baby Godzilla?
No.
I think that's what should happen.
But no, she could turn into a humanoid Godzilla.
Ew, no.
Jesus Christ.
I do not want to see that.
Which is kind of close to what Hideaki Anno was going to do with Shin Godzilla 2 with like the humanoid Godzilla's out of his tail. If you ever seen the end of the Shin Godzilla.
That's Shin Godzilla in general. That was a very strange,
very, very weird movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's amazing like everyone says it is. I think it's good. But it's like not horrible. And I like the kind of, commentary on the Fukushima accident, nuclear accident that happened, and how the government kind of just sat around twiddling their thumbs.
I think, it was my favorite sequel of last year for sure.
Which one?
Godzilla -1.
It's not a sequel though.
It's not a sequel.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's a sequel to Oppenheimer.
To Oppenheimer, yeah.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sequel Oppenheimer.
It was a great follow up. I thought, and you know, like you get to see both sides. Really, it's a beautiful thing.
Oppenheimer created Godzilla.
He did. I was curious. I looked up one day if Oppenheimer ever watched or even knew of Godzilla's existence. And I looked it up, and he apparently knew of the existence of Godzilla, but it's never confirmed whether he watched the actual film or not. Because I was like, that
he
would be
probably did.
interesting if he actually watched the film.
He
But
did
he
it while
probably
having
did.
sex with his ex-girlfriend.
Oh God.
That'd be a pretty haunting film to watch, though, at that time. And knowing you're the creator of that would be pretty haunting to watch. They're literally making a commentary basically about you, basically. But no, is there anything else that we can top it off before ends our suffering?
No.
Don't make Rebel Moon Part 3.
Please don't.
That I don't want to utter the words or ever again.
I do not care about these people that have no personality going to rescue a princess that has.
Oh, I'm sorry,
power.
I'm sorry, real quick. Do you mean the child murdering blind loyalist that is supposed to be the hero of our story?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Is anyone watching this new Sympathizer show with Robert Downey Jr.? I haven't heard one thing about it.
I've heard
I haven't
good
heard of
things,
it
I
either.
just haven't. I haven't.
He's playing like a multitude of characters on the show. He's like Eddie Murphying it, you know.
He's a spy. He's playing a spy.
I don't know what the hell it is. No, but it looks like Spider-Man 3 is about to make $1 million with its re-release in cinema.
$1 million.
It's made at least 730, I think.
Some big bucks now.
730 or 750? I can't remember.
Man, you know, that was the first Spider-Man movie I saw in theaters, and it was for my birthday. And we had the whole, at the Regal Cinema, the whole birthday thing, and I had the Venom cups and the Spider-Man cape and all cake, and all the friends came and all that, and we all sat there and just
760.
Sad disappointment.
Yeah.
Did you guys also see that there's a first clip of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill returning as Batman?
I did
Joker.
see that for 2 seconds. Doesn't give me any hope considering
for that Crisis.
Considering that Batman Beyond was in crisis for literally 2 seconds.
Oh yeah,
well,
I saw that. Did he not speak at all?
I'm just glad the animation looks like the original animation.
Yeah, I will say that was very cool to see the original
I was scared
animation.
of what they were
It was
doing
like,
with that.
whoa, but that's cool. But other than that, I have no expectations for that.
Did anyone watch Knuckles this weekend?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was something.
Oh,
I mean, every time Knuckles is on screen, I'm like, cool. I like Idris Elba as Knuckles a lot. He's funny. He's cute. Entertaining. But it's not really Knuckles' show. It's really Wade Whipple's. It's really Wade Whipple's show, to be honest. Like there's like at least 2 episodes of like Knuckles isn't even basically around with the events that's going on in the episode. He's just like in the background, just like around.
Wow,
you got
just around.
What?
So just real quick,
I do that.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. My mind's gonna change the topic. You go ahead.
And they even do it in the finale. And they do this thing. This whole season's about this bowling tournament. Oh my god! If you thought the Suicide Squad 2016 was bad with the jukebox, music crap in that film, Knuckles like every 5 minutes is a classic 80s song or a 90s song, and there's always something reminding you of like the 80s. Oh my God, the 80s.
But this is present day.
It's literally, that's all the show was, pretty much. I mean, there are some good moments here and there, but yeah.
Oh my God.
So just some real quick numbers from Netflix that they did release. I was right. I just for some reason hadn't been able to find this, and they just put it up now. So Rebel Moon Part 2 faced a pretty big drop from viewing numbers. The first week, Rebel Moon Part 1. This isn't Samba TV, people. This isn't freaking some third party, that you all like to pick and choose when it's gonna work for you. This is Netflix. Netflix's actual their statement release and all that, right? And for the first Rebel Moon, the Part 1, right? Its first week of viewing had 34 million views in its first week. In its second week, or I'm sorry, in its first week of viewing for Part 2, it was at 18 million. 18.8, 19 million. So these are Netflix's
What was the first one
numbers.
again?
First one was 34 million. And the second part debuted to 18.8 views in a week.
By Snyder's logic, that's $500 million.
It beat Barbie.
Dude. I don't even like Barbie, but that's not true. That's not true.
Well, look, this is my thing, right? Because there's the big argument right now is Snyder fans going, oh, it's definitely gonna get a part 3. It's got all these views and blah 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 and all this, right? And this is why I've talked about it. Look, there is no freaking model that any of us, I don't care who you are, I don't care how long you've been in this business, like Netflix has not given us a model as to what they cancel by or what they continue by. At this point, it's a gamble. But one thing Netflix has proved is that they're not big on, on divisiveness. They would rather have, something like Extraction or something like Old Guard or franchises like that are more accepted or more, don't have as much controversy behind it. And so I think based off of that alone, like, I'm sorry, numbers.
Haven't they greenlit other
at
stuff?
Netflix? They have, yeah, but numbers
like
at Netflix
that's a
is
garbage.
what I'm trying to say. Exactly, they have, but even then, like, it's not. It's because people really liked it. It's one of those like where the Rotten Tomatoes is like, 0% critic and like the audience loves it or whatever. This isn't the case with Rebel Moon. It's pretty flat across the board unless you have a niche for Zack Snyder. So, and that's what I'm saying. Based off that model, like, there's no just because it gets numbers. Netflix has canceled a ton of stuff that's gotten numbers. Cowboy Bebop got a bunch of numbers. They canceled it real quick because it was not liked. Like, there's plenty of examples.
Well, I did not expect them to do a Red Notice 2.
I doubt that will happen.
I
honestly, and even then, that's way more warranted than Rebel Moon. I'm sorry. The fan reaction to that was not near as bad as Rebel Moon, or near, like.
Yeah. I feel like they might give him. They might give him one more and then be done with it. I don't think they're gonna have him do this whatever series, whatever spin-offs, blah blah blah, video game. No. I think it's done after that. I think they might give him one more, and I think the director's cuts are still coming out. But after that, I don't know.
Yeah, that universe needs to end.
I think M. Wamba is behind in the stream. I've been listening to William. Yeah, I have been listening to William, but I form my opinions based on my own thoughts and on other people's. If I happen to agree with other people, I hear. And I agree with certain aspects of what he says, and certain aspects I don't. And me and him will have that civil discourse. But I love
William is used to being.
William's great.
Used to being wrong.
I like William.
William's got some hot spicy takes.
He sure does. I got to get him on the hot take show too.
Anything else? Anyone got any topics at this point? Now we're just.
At this point, we're just killing time. Yeah. We're going for 3 hours, folks.
Let's see.
I feel like this is I feel like the Red Letter Media.
What do we do
skit
now?
right now.
Red Letter Media. I haven't watched their videos in a long time.
I feel like one of their skits right now. Nerd show. We have to fill time.
Okay.
Fill airspace.
Y'all excited for Planet of the Apes?
I'm starting to gain more and more interest. I'm trying again. Cautiously optimistic. Those first 3 for me, I think, are masterpieces.
I agree.
And so, again, you got a lot to live up here, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing. I'm liking the return to like kind of the original franchise setting and story. My biggest concern is Wes Ball, the director. I was not impressed with those Maze Runner movies, and I thought of all the people you're going to pick to pick up these movies, that's who. Okay. Well,
Yeah, that was an interesting choice for sure. I didn't.
You
mind Maze Runner's
gotta
movies.
impress me now.
Yeah. I slightly got more interested in him after seeing the test footage of the mouse guard. That looked like, oh man.
Did you guys see this? I am not a fan of this at all.
Or what?
And I do not want to watch this version of the film, but they're releasing a version of this new film. An entirely the actors.
The non-CGI version. Yeah.
The non-CGI version with just the actors in mocap. I don't want to see that shit.
Genius.
Wait, what? Wait,
that's
what?
genius. And let me tell you something. They should have. They should have done that with the other movies.
So DL,
which one are you talking? What are you guys talking? What are you talking?
DL,
on
film.
the special features for the release of Kingdom, they've announced that they're going to include a cut of the movie that's the motion capture. So they took the CGI out, and you're going to see the motion capture performance.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
Then guess what, guys? There's a beautiful option. Don't watch it.
Yeah, I refuse to watch that version.
I'm not gonna watch it.
That's why it's included in the special features, because for a lot of us, that's epic.
I like to see some footage, like behind the scenes, to see how they did some of the scenes, but to watch the entire movie of that, no, I don't.
Yeah, like I said,
2.5 hours.
But there is definitely a lot of interest in it, especially like that. Like I said, if they would have done that for the original films with Circus and all that, that would have been huge, because people were obsessed with that. They were obsessed with those behind the scenes clips that came out of him doing it.
Yeah, but those are clips.
As long as these
the
movies,
entire
are
film.
good.
Like how are the motion capture people gonna look when they're running like an ape, or when they're flipping around?
What is the
or what about when they're in completely CGI environments?
What's the downside to giving the option, though? That's my question to you guys.
I mean, if people want to watch
it's in
that,
the special
that's fine.
features.
No, it's fine.
That's fine. What's the downside to it? Like,
no, if people want to watch that, that's fine. It's good that they have the option. Just me personally, like, I don't know if I would want to watch the entire film like that.
Yeah, no. There's nothing wrong with having an option. I just think it's kind of dumb.
Like, I would just rather see that like in a behind-the-scenes documentary or something, because I think that would really ruin the immersion of like the film. It's like watching Avatar with them in motion capture.
I would be all for that too if they wanted to do that with that.
No.
Really but that's
3
that's
hours
the
of
thing.
that?
There's people like me who are interested in these visual effects, are interested in that. Like, it's incredible to me that you can get the actor's emotion and performance and all of that through all the CGI and through all of that.
That's true.
You're still able to catch. So I get for you guys, it may not be, but for me, yeah, I'm fascinated with it. And it's not like it's the first time they did it for Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol, the Disney one. That movie on the special features has a whole thing where you can watch the whole movie where they did the motion capture.
I think that would be interesting to see just how the. I don't know. I might try and watch it and see how far I can get into it because
I mean, I get it's not for you guys, but like there's a massive market for that type of stuff.
No one's denying that there isn't.
It's not a dumb decision at all. It's an incredibly smart one.
I would think like if I
it's your opinion.
Yeah, if I'm starting to get into actually starting to make films, that would probably be something I would want to watch for sure. Especially because I think Andy Serkis is one of the best actors working today, and he hasn't I think he's very underrated, and the performance that he does with motion capture is amazing. So I would watch that for that alone. But
no, I like watching the Andy Serkis clips. I don't want to watch the entire 2.5-hour film of actors that aren't even really in CGI. How are they gonna? That's what I'm interested in. This. How are they going? I'll probably check it out for these scenes alone.
Yeah,
how are they going to put actors that are in a green screen environment, in mocap suits, in CGI environments that aren't there in real life?
They are. They are.
They're doing the monkey run in a green room.
For a lot of these Planet of the Apes movies, they were on location. Specifically, this one. This one probably might even more so than the last ones was on location the most.
Okay, but not every single frame of every single location that they're at is a practical location. That's what I'm interested in. Like, are they going to take the time and money to put actors in mocap suits that are on a sound stage with green screen into a digital shot of a CGI background? That's what I'm interested in, what they're going to do with that stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not. They use the real backgrounds. They already.
Well, we don't know what they're going to do because we haven't seen them.
They already said they shot on location. They did this and blah blah blah.
Okay, so but not every single shot is going to be in a practical location.
Well,
it's
yeah,
not how it's
possible for
them. So I'm sure it's going to cut from them being on location, and then there'll be certain spots where they'll cut to a green room, soundstage. Yeah,
that's what I'm interested in. Are they going to stop the footage and show them on the soundstage, or are they going to put them in the digital shot? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, you'll see the soundstage. You'll see them interact. Like, that's the whole point of it, is that for the people like me that are...
No! No!
No!
I don't want to see the soundstage stuff.
I don't know. Now talking about it more, it does sound more fascinating. Like, maybe I will watch it.
Exactly. Like,
I'm interested in how it's going to be cut. So you know what? Fine. Yeah. I kind of talk myself into kind of wanting to see this, but I'm interested in those.
It's going to be cut just like the movie, except without the special effects. It's as simple as that.
All right. Let's see what they got.
How is? I'm just gonna stop asking questions.
You'll be okay. I promise.
Just let it happen.
Well, how a lot of music that's composed for films and sequences in a film is to kind of booster up the effects in CGI and stuff like that. So how is that going to be edited, and how is that going to come off?
I mean, I'm sure they're going to still have the score playing in the background, maybe.
Oh, that's going to be kind of awkward, isn't it? I don't know.
We just gotta see what he's really having a breakdown with that.
I know. It's fascinating, actually.
Well, I'm actually like interested in all these things. Like I'm interested in like the technical aspects of how they're gonna cut it or do it. But I guess it's gonna be.
I'm sorry. The what?
What?
You're interested in the what? The testicle?
The technical.
Technical.
Oh. Dude, I swore you said I'm interested in the testicle aspect, and I was like, "There's what do you think they're shooting naked?" Balls. Just like
I don't want to think about them having them walking around naked and their balls are out.
Enosh is with his so-called family that is broken apart and in shambles, according to losers online. So he's not here right now. He's spending time with his family.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for him to end the show. We're filling in
I
time.
don't know what you're talking about, Mwamba, but Godzilla -1 was just nah. It was
What are
big
you
mid.
talking? So why are you even
Big
trying to troll that -1 was?
Big mid.
Dude. Like, this is the problem with YouTube culture. Is no one can have an honest opinion. They have to be trolly about it.
If only Godzilla -1 was actually good. Maybe.
Okay. This is the one who likes Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Hey, it's got some great parts about it.
No.
Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield, phenomenal. Emma Stone, phenomenal. That scene, phenomenal.
No.
Sure, it has certain parts that are really good, but we're talking about the entire movie. That's how everyone likes to defend Dark of the Moon, be like, but that last 45 minutes, the special effects were amazing.
Hey,
Great.
those
How's the
last
rest of the
45
film?
minutes.
How's the rest of the film?
Was worth the price of admission for me.
I had to sit through an hour and a half
No.
of bullshit. What do you mean?
That's
Wasn't worth
exactly
it.
what I want.
The only time I
Droga,
rewatched.
I would send you a link. I have no control over this. I don't have access to the stream. I don't have. We're just waiting now for Enosh to come in and end it whenever he can.
But
Otherwise,
remember, folks, don't let anyone tell you that your fandom doesn't matter.
Quick, everyone, go rewatch Fallout on Amazon Prime so we can beat that trash Rings of Power show that's only a few million behind.
Right, please.
Please.
I didn't even watch Rings of Power.
You don't need to.
You never should, DL. You never should.
You're not missing much.
Yeah. Are y'all looking forward to that? What's that animated movie coming out later this year? The Battle of
Oh yeah.
Rogeheim. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a big animated film. I think they pushed it back a few times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested in that. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, you don't really need to do anything with Lord of the Rings after the films, to be honest. Like, they already drug it out with Hobbit with 3 films that were totally unnecessary.
Yep.
And they're doing these like prequel shows that aren't based on the Silmarillion, but aren't really based on the Silmarillion because they don't have the rights to it. They're like making up their own crap and not even really respecting the source material that
They don't have the rights to the Silmarillion.
They have the rights to some version that like basically summarizes aspects of the Silmarillion. A company, a video game company, owns the majority of the rights to the Lord of the Rings lore, and they still do.
What in the world?
So, Amazon, has like very little of what they can do, and what they used from what they had was bullshit, and they literally changed some things and over dramatized things for no reason. It's not Tolkien. It's not Lord of the Rings. Don't let anyone tell you it is, because it's not. It's not. Disgrace.
Exactly how I feel about Godzilla -1. Hashtag not my Godzilla.
Stop, bro.
How long is he gonna keep this up?
Oh, this is gonna go on for a long
If you liked
time.
Galadriel in the Lord of the Rings films, you're gonna hate her in this show.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely hate her. She's one of the most dumbly written characters ever.
Ooh.
It's horrible. Absolute garbage. Cancer.
What a shame. mean, all they're doing, they're trying to compete with Game of Thrones. So,
Mhm. Which is another thing that's irritating hearing about Shogun. Like everyone's comparing, oh, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. I'm like, have you ever seen other shows that have had people have their heads cut off? And, like it's like you have these set pieces like this. Like, have you ever seen something like this before? Because it's not. Everything has become. That's my problem. Everything has to be compared to something. I'm like, why? Why do you have to compare it to this?
Yeah, that I agree. That's dumb. Yeah, no. It's like the people. That's. Yeah. The comparing thing needs to stop. You have people comparing Rebel Moon and frickin' Dune and Star Wars. I'm like, shut up. I mean, even with you had people comparing The Last of Us to The Walking Dead, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
well, that's just been a thing forever.
Jesus Christ.
That's been a thing for years.
Uncharted and
okay, yeah, but they're still their own things. Like, my God, it's not the same thing. You can.
Well, yeah.
See, Uncharted and Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, it just sets a precedent too. It's people going into it's just like Game of Thrones. Oh my god! And also, Shogun is not the type of show where it's going to be a continuous thing unless they decide to do a season 2, which I'm like skeptical about them doing, but I'm interested.
Is it the first season based on the one book?
Yep.
Yeah, it's based on the one book, and it's been done before. There's a miniseries that was out a few years ago, and I think in the 90s too, based on the book. But there's other books based on other periods of history in the different periods of time in Japan. But they said
what?
No, they basically said they would have to kind of loosely dramatize certain things if they did a second season.